to Guerrilla Cricket's coverage of India versus England in the Cricket World Cup 2019 from Edgbaston, where England have posted 337, and they will feel confident of defending that total, I am sure. But once the Indian batsmen get going, who knows what might happen in front of a very partisan Indian crowd. You're listening to Grubby here in the central missionary position. To my left I have Ralph on tweets.
Alright guys.
Hello Ralph, nice to see you again. And in the jingle chair is Jack.
Hello. Hi Grubby, first time being on with you.
First time we've been on together. In fact, we've only just met next door.
Indeed.
I'm coming here to crash the second half of a tremendous party here at Gorilla Towers today. We've got lovely Kiwi Callie in the house with her listener experience. Still trying to get over the shock of yesterday's capitulation, I'm sure. KL Rahul is fit enough to open the batting for India. We'll get a couple of jingles.
I'll do Rohit first.
Go for it.
264.
That's possibly my new favourite jingle. I'd never heard that one until I happened to be listening in the other day.
It's a good one.
And it's Sherwood, isn't it? Yeah, well done Sherwood.
And this is Rahul.
Double Beatles.
Indeed.
Double Beatles there.
And it'll be Walks up in the bowling. As well, Hoyam on as well.
He's on Instagram and he's a Twitter fan. On the Ashes tour. Not Ben Stokes, but he'll have to do.
And you can catch Jack at Turnmills later on. He'll be performing a set 10 p.m. this evening. Turnmills closed down, by the way, don't write in. So Chris Peaky Blinders Wokes going to come and bowl the first ball of this Indian batting effort. Two slips in place, they crouch down. The first ball is allowed to pass through to the keeper. So a gentle start there, a gentle piece of away movement from Wokes, which he'll feel encouraged by, I'm sure. Shortish boundaries on at least one side.
Well, Bairstow took advantage of them, didn't he? The short boundaries.
Yeah.
See, that was where pretty much all of his scoring was.
Yeah, and Bairstow playing an innings very much saying, "Have that, the world. Leave me alone."
He had to deliver after what he said, didn't he?
Yeah,
He'd gone over a duck.
It did just make him look a little bit needy. This is an attempted cut from Rahul, leaping in the air to play that, but just under edging it back to the bowler, and there's no run. Beautiful bright sunshine there at Edgbaston, and Chris Wokes' fringe flopping down over his forehead.
It's his home ground, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah.
Hopefully he can do the business for us.
Yeah, India sporting their new second kit, I think it is. Lots of orange. And this is a forward defensive push by Rahul to a full ball from Wokes.
Yeah, we were saying before,
cover,
seals for that will depend entirely on how this game goes.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it doesn't want to be consigned to the same sort of kit bin as the grey Manchester United kit
one, yes,
from the 90s, where they kept getting beat 6-5 by Southampton, and then blaming the kit because they couldn't pick each other out against a slaty grey sky.
They changed it at half time. I think they scored a goal, still lost, but I think they scored.
I've heard some excuses in my time.
Yeah, it's up there.
KL Rahul faces up once more to Wokes. A straighter ball on the stumps. He just drops it down in front of him. Still no run. 4 balls have gone in this first over. Wokes will be happy with how it's gone thus far.
Yeah, well, I personally feel with a score like 337, I think if you can build some pressure. A lot of teams have struggled to chase anything this tournament so far. So if you can build some pressure early on, then they maybe start hitting out and playing some stupid shots.
Yeah, you'd think you'd need a wicket or two early on just to really get on top. Rohit, for my money, is the best white ball batsman in the world, including Kohli. But there we are. Rahul faces up once more. Again, he's not timed any of these cuts so far this over. He's had about 3 of those, and each one has been under-edged. And that one similarly so, and it's picked up by the man running in from the covers. So still no run. 1 ball left in the first over. We'll get some tweets at the end of this, shall we, Ralph? We've got a few people joining us. Oh yeah, nice one. Yeah, we have a veritable tsunami of tweets coming your way very shortly. So
here comes Fielding.
It looks like it. Yeah, Wokes into bowl again now, and it's going to be a maiden first up as Rahul is back in his crease, playing it defensively to the covers. 0 for 0 after 1. Tweets.
A whole slew. We have Chris TB. He says Kohli has 5 ODI innings at Edgbaston, averaged 243. So beat that, Rohit.
God.
Messi Jez
Out once, I
says,
suspect, yeah.
okay, prediction time. If India win this, they will win the World Cup. If they lose, Australia will win it. And El Jocko67 says, asking for a friend, have Sourav Ganguly and Michael Vaughan gone into partnership in the carpet business? Hashtag rugs are us.
Is that a wig reference?
Must be. But they all dye their hair these days. That's what I know. It's even Athers.
Does he?
The most, I don't know, best man out
Salt
there.
of the earth.
Salt of the earth, yes. And even he's got a hint of a tint in there.
Yeah.
Caramel low lights, or whatever they call.
Okay, and opening the bowling from the other end for England will be this chap.
Archer, not only handsome, but also
A secret agent? That's what I am.
He too has 2 slips, and this is a full ball, and it's just lent on by Rowett. Plays it through straight mid-off, and he's away with a boundary straight away. 4 runs.
That was a lovely shot, wasn't it?
It was.
4. Good God, yeah.
Looking to bowl a full length, and unfortunately, when you're bowling to Rohit Sharma, your margins for error are very, very slight. In betting news, our friends at betway.com, go to betway.com/GC Radio. The current match odds, England 9-2 on to win this match, having posted 337, and India 11-4 against. Sounds alright if you fancy a bit of that. This is a length ball from Archer, played from the crease by Rohit up towards mid-on. Archer does his own fielding and there's no run. That said, you might want to take into consideration the highest ever World Cup run chase is, as we were just discussing next door,
Indeed.
Ireland's chase of 328 versus England, with the heroic Kevin O'Brien scoring what was at the time certainly the fastest century in World Cup history. Archer, with his smooth approach to the crease, bowls on just outside the off stump, and it's played defensively into the covers, and there is no run. It's 4 without loss halfway through the second over.
Do you agree with Plunkett replacing Moeen? Personally, I thought it was totally the right call. Cause he's not in the just with the bat form at the moment.
Yeah,
he's just
I mean, all other things being equal, you lose a little bit by making that replacement with the bat.
Yeah.
But as you rightly point out, he's not been in great form. He scored that 31 off 9, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
This is edged to he's dropped. Rohit Sharma has been dropped at second slip from the 4th ball that he's faced. It's Joe Root. It was a regulation chance just to his right, waist height. You must be taking those, and that is a bad error from England's Test captain.
Oh, God.
Oh dear, oh dear.
come on.
Awkward height, though. Nipple height, wasn't it?
Yeah, just below the nipple, and he went with his fingers pointing downwards. But you've got to be taking those. It's a regulation slip chance. It went fairly quickly, but a decent height for him. This is in a similar spot. And again, he just leans on it 3-point, and the most inevitable thing in the world has happened, which is a 4 straight after a catch. Second 4 of the over for Rohit.
Edgar Allan Poe tweets.
I'm looking forward to this gothic tweet. Come on then.
Well, it seems opportune, this one. Batsmen done their half of the bargain. Over to the bowlers not to throw this game away. We haven't mentioned about the fielders.
Team game.
But he says, I feel happier with Liam Plunkett back.
Yeah. Rohit faces up once more, allows this one to pass through to the keeper. The end of an eventful over there. 2 4s and a dropped chance. And the score is 8 without loss, and Rohit has all 8 of them.
I have to say, considering what you just said about Rohit Sharma, could really do with that sticking.
Yeah, I just think he makes it look so easy. Kohli is clearly, I think Kohli is still ranked number 1.
Yeah, he is ranked number 1.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I think over a period of time, Rohit Sharma has proved himself to be just the outstanding batsman in this form of the game.
He has the high score, doesn't he?
High score. He's got 3 double centuries. No one else has got more than 1, I think. So yeah, for me, he's numero uno. But anyway, any more on the tweets there, Ralph?
Yes, Linux Leah says, all shall behold the terrible beauty that is his coliness and despair. And Ralph the Wonder Llama says, Root drops the World Cup. # doomed.
For quite some time, I thought that you and Ralph the Wonder Llama were one and the same person.
I'm imposter Ralph.
This is outside the off stump and just fiddled at by Rahul through to the keeper. Again, just a hint of away movement there from Wokes. He's bowling a decent line of length here to start with. We're just having a look from I think one of the drone cameras or similar.
Spider cam.
Spider cam. Yeah. At the drop chance, and that will be playing on Root's mind until or unless Rohit gets out. 8 without loss it remains. We're at the start of the third over here, being bowled by Chris Wokes. He's in again, 2 slips still in place. A nice looking shot off the back foot by KL Rahul. A very attractive looking batsman, I always think. But this one finds the fielder in the covers and there is no run. He is yet to score.
Yeah, he got some big scores for Kings 11 in the IPL.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he also played a absolutely scintillating innings the last day at the Oval Test match, the Alistair Cook final game,
Yes.
the Jimmy Anderson.
yeah.
I went to the final day of that game, and it was just tremendous. Obviously, went there primarily to see Jimmy break
Of course, yeah.
McGrath's record, which he eventually did, but by God, he made his weight. This is caught and bowled.
Yes!
It's caught and bowled. A leading edge, attempting to turn it into the leg side. Rahul just lobs it back off that outside edge, and he is gone. A 9-ball duck. He's been sick with himself there, KL Rahul. Just looking to turn it. A good straight ball. He's reward there, and well-earned reward from Chris Wokes for what has been a really tight opening spell.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah,
Get it.
deliberate commentator's curse there. But a false shot from Lokesh. And the easy to catch, a fairly comfortable catch. He does have to dive forward a bit, so maybe I'm being a bit unfair, but just the start that England will have wanted. It's 8-4-1.
Yeah, exactly. Get Corley in early.
Pirate Badshaw tweets that given that packing in as many India matches as possible is the true reason behind eradicating the rest of the cricket world from the non-World Cup, it would be fitting if India eradicated Ireland from the run chase record.
Tortuous,
Cool,
but I like it.
yes.
Yeah. Anyone else there? With
Yes, Kevin Parsington joined us. Just woke up and tuned in to hear Root drop that catch. Is it sufficient to stop listening, or must I go back to sleep?
Well, hopefully you stay with us long enough to hear that England have finally taken that wicket. But here comes the main man in all formats of the game. It is Virat the Majestic.
The Aussies, they weren't nice to you. They said bad things about your sister.
Wokes bowls to him a nice bit of shape away as well, but Kohli plays it comfortably enough to point.
Raise your middle finger. Virat Kohli.
30 years of age and really in the prime of his career and in the prime of what could still be the greatest ever career. I think, as we were mentioning a few minutes ago, he averages 243 from 5 innings at Edgbaston, 5 one-day international innings, I think that is, which must mean he's only been out about once, surely, or twice. This is driven up to mid-on, a little bit inside edgily.
This is unbelievable start from Wokes.
Yeah, brilliant work. He's yet to concede a run, Chris Wokes, and he's taken that wicket of KL Rahul, and he's just got 1 ball left of his second over. Delighted with that, hurled the ball skywards, having pouched the catch.
Yeah, Rahul's not had a great game, went off injured, and then he's up for a 9-ball.
Yeah, that's one to forget for Lokesh there. Kohli facing up to his third ball to be bowled by Chris Wokes just outside that off stump, that 4th stump line that everyone says that you must bowl to Virat early doors. He drives it to extra cover, there is no run, and Wokes has figures of 1 for 0 after 2.
Hendo's back. Gorilla Hendo tweets, "Oh my giddy fucking aunt, you moron Root, more drop catches, 50 quid on a Rohit double. Well done, Wokes, but that'll be the last wicket we get. ...
50 quid on a Rohit double. What's he suggesting there?
Double century.
I see. I
think so, yeah.
Well, he's just 192 short of that landmark at the moment, but he has started well. And those 2 shots, those 2 fours that he's hit so far,
there's no power or anything, just pure timing, wasn't it?
Totally just lent on them. He's facing up to Archer now, gets a ball which is slightly back of a length and just dabs it down in front of him, and there is no run. I suspect you want to err slightly on the short side. I mean, people have been taken to the cleaners bowling too short to Rohit in this tournament. I know Knuckles' a big one for saying, why do people keep bowling short? But given that he's an excellent all-round batsman, if there is a weakness, it might just be on that lifting ball up into his ribs early on in his innings. This one keeps a little bit low, and Rohit, as if to let everyone know how low it kept, just squats down on it as he does manage to jab his bat down in time, keeps it out.
Jay Grover says, Cahill and Vince are off to an eat, pray, love retreat together after this World Cup. And Ravinair says, replying to Gorilla Hendo, hashtag fuck doomed, or is it doomed fuck?
Well, take your pick. Archer in over the wicket, and this is guided to backward point by Rowett. Doesn't beat the man there, and there is no run. So just 2 scoring shots so far. They both went for 4.
Yeah, that
And
is
it's 8 for 1 halfway through the 4th.
That is definitely Vincent's in ahead of Roy, isn't it? Just resting Roy.
Yeah, is it Roy?
I
who's
was
off?
thinking it's
Is that
Roy, but I
definitely?
mean, I haven't seen him yet.
It wouldn't be allowed if it's the same injury with which he came into the game, would it? It would have to be a new injury.
Yeah.
So if England have got away with that, that's a little bit naughty, I think. 2 slips still in place here. This one beats Rowett on the outside edge. One of those balls that just angled in and just held its line there rather than coming in on the angle. And that was enough to beat Rowett there. Good bowling.
Yeah, it was. Beautiful ball.
Yeah, we've seen some good seam positions today. Mohamed Shami is the absolute master at it, presenting the seam immaculate, perfect fashion.
Yeah, Shami got the 5 but Bumrah was probably
Bumrah was well, yeah. If you think the name of the game is keeping runs down, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this, this is just pushed to point by Rowett. If you think about a single, it's not there. So
they've got over.
Remains 8 for 1. Yep. Just in line to bowl the 3rd maiden out of 4 overs bowled thus far. If he can bowl a dot ball here,
Indeed.
but Rowett won't be panicking. Because he doesn't do panic. Archer into his run up now, fairly short run up, only about 12 yards or so. This is 2 down the leg side though. He's able to guide it down. A gentle hook shot, if that's at all possible, and nicks the strike for the start of the 5th over. It's 9 for 1 after 4.
Anna Forsyth joins us. Morning, Gorillas. Second
Morning,
ball
Anna.
I hear is the Wokes wicket. You're welcome. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope all you naysayers, including you, Hendo, I hope you stayed there long enough to listen to the wicket rather than throwing your wireless out of the window.
What after Rude dropped it.
Peter Jones tweeted earlier on where he was cannon fodder for the West Indian bowlers or something, or the batsmen. I don't know whether he's been peppered or peppering them. Everybody says the Sri Lankans have been a lot more polite to my little left-arm spinners than the West Indians were. With a nice picture of, I don't know, is that the Riverside in Durham? Or
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nice picture with it.
Actually bowling to actual cricketers.
Sounds
Is that
like
what
it.
you're saying? Yeah.
And Alex Webb joins us from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow.
Duck, duck, goose for Rahul. Got to say bye now.
Wokes continues his string of dots, bowling one just outside the off stump. First ball he's bowled to Rowett and plays it into the short extra cover region.
So he's saying bye now because he's got off to church. But
Okay.
hoping to come back to a nice dub.
A nice dub.
Dub, D-U-B. That's simple. Dub.
What's that?
that?
Does he work?
I hope
Does
it's
he
right.
work in sound engineering?
That catch in the crowd was unbelievable. Say it.
I heard. I think you talking about it on air. So was it a really poor attempt?
Oh, that
Or
was
was it a good
brilliant.
one?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Oh right. This one is just turned into the leg side by Rowett.
He was in a crowd
run.
of about 100 Indians, and it picked him out in the middle. England fan.
Yeah.
Took it.
And he took it. The big lad.
The big lad took it.
Slow start here from India. 9 for 1. And we're into the 5th over now. That over's being bowled by Chris Wokes, who is still yet to concede a run.
This is exactly what Morgan will want, and every single
Precisely.
England fan wants.
Wokes turns into his run now. Smooth, rhythmical, up to the crease. A length ball just takes the shoulder of the bat as Rowett comes forward and winds up at point where it's fielded. Another dot ball.
That's a good. No, Walks just balling brilliantly so far.
Yeah, I feel a bit of a chump really because when it was clear that Archer was going to be drafted in,
Yeah.
I thought that Wokes
So
might be
he
the
could
one
drop,
to
yeah.
make way. Just because he is, if anything, almost too classical.
Yes.
The lines and lengths that he bowls versus a Willie who gives you a bit more variety. But he's proved me wrong. Not for the first or last time. This takes him on the pad as he attempts to find a gap in the leg side, but doesn't get any bat on it.
Win predictor said 75% England there, although to be fair, they also had yesterday Afghanistan at 1.77% or something.
Well, it's the beauty of the game, and if you're prepared to take a position, especially early in games when betting markets often overreact, I think.
Yeah.
Then if you can hold your nerve, you can really take them to the cleaners. But it does involve having quite deep pockets, which not everyone does. Wokes bowls a ball just outside the off stump, a little bit uppish, as Rowett half drives that and just checks his shot. But it was in the air for a few yards there. Fielded at mid off, and there's no run.
My policy is don't bet when the football season's not on. See, I'll cover a couple of months where
All
I'll
right.
save some
Fair-
money
fair
when
enough,
the football
fair
season starts again.
Funny enough, although football's the was my favourite sport growing up as a kid. It certainly isn't anymore.
Fair enough.
It's probably the thing I'm worst at from a gambling perspective.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not great, but I get the odd win that balances out.
That just keeps you coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Not fantastic at cricket betting either. And the less said about horse racing, the better. But apart from that, it's all
yeah, Cheltenham was a rough one, I'll put that way.
Rowett has 9. He faces up to Chris Wokes, gets a ball just on his leg stump, sets off for a single as he dabs it down into the leg side, then has to turn on his heels smartly as Coley sends him back and still can't get off strike. And Chris Wokes has his 3rd maiden in succession, a hat-trick of maidens.
Fantastic.
And Peter Jones just clarifies where he is and where he's bowling. I'm net bowling at the Riverside. You must be pretty handy, Peter, to be invited to bowl at the nets.
Well, it's not
I don't think
strictly
they
true. Sometimes they
let the muggins
deliberately pick absolute no hopers. So they
Yeah,
can
just see the ones
feel
who
good about themselves.
Did you see the ones who South Africa were using at practice for Malinga, and they just had someone throw it,
Yeah.
but they were bowling it short, which is not how Malinga bowls.
Yeah, no. My mate, back in the early 90s, he went after his A-levels, went to Australia for a bit and watched a bit of the dashes there. That's a short ball that Archer has bowled to Coley, and Coley sways out of the way. Has to do so fairly smartish, so as not to get scommed through to the keeper. And my mate was he was there on a practice day, and he said, I ended up bowling a few to David Gower, and he found these net balls that were just swooping round corners. He said, so I bowled Gower round his legs. I said, I bet he wasn't too happy about that. No. Coley yet to get off the mark. He's faced 4 deliveries so far. We're into the 6th over. It's 9 for 1. Here comes Archer over the wicket. Bowls just outside the off just wide of route. It was edged, a genuine edge. And it races away to that 3rd man boundary. 4 streaky runs to get the Majestic off the mark.
There's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
So you couldn't call that one a chance. It was just out of the reach of Joe Root diving away to his right, and it was just fine enough that the man running round from a wideish 3rd man was not able to cut it off. So, worst possible scenario for England off that ball.
Third slip.
Be a brave man to have 3 slips in though,
Yeah,
to Coley, wouldn't it?
yeah.
I mean, it's not beyond the realms, but yeah, you can't have them everywhere. Here comes Archer again. Into the crease now, he bowls just outside the off stump. It's a good line to bowl to Coley, but he eases this one through the covers. An absolute class shot that, and it hits the boundary rope now of another 4.
It was a super shot.
Yeah, it was the shot of an absolute genius. I don't use the word lightly. But talking of genius, I was saying to you chaps next door that I loved Stokes' switch hit in the first innings.
Oh,
that was temporarily, that was my Prosecco
But
moment.
then
and then I saw Butler
Yeah.
just hit that ridiculous shot, opening the bat face up with his wrists and driving it over long off for 6. How on earth he did that, I do not know. This one is defended by Coley up to mid-off, and there's no run this time. 17 for 1.
Well, seen before you right after Stokes is the only one of the top, order who hasn't got a century yet, but he's probably been our best batsman to be. He's put in some fantastic innings.
Yeah. Let's hope well, if you're an England fan, let's hope it's not a tremendous effort in a losing cause.
Exactly.
I mean, the other 80s he scored were in those forlorn chases as they turned out. But he's got previous with that. This is defended from the crease by Coley to point, and there's no run. Yeah, that when we absolutely capitulated against Pakistan in the semi-final of the ICC.
Yeah.
And Stokes was the only one. How did Knuckle put it the other day? The only grown-up in the room. That's like what he was, and he was just. He played a proper innings, but couldn't get England home on that occasion. Couldn't get England home against Sri Lanka recently. But here we go, different day, different game. Coley has 8 runs. He is facing up to Archer. Gets a ball that he just threatens to duck into his off stump and plays it defensively. There is no run. It's 17 for 1 after 6 overs.
So hey,
sorry, I'm getting carried away. 17 for 1 after 6. What you got, Ralph?
Just a little bit from Crick Tracker. Perhaps Carling joins us and says, "Hey Coley, let's have some fun." And Ramesh Kohli, who's also with us, but Ramesh Kohli says England will win by 60 runs, courtesy of Dhoni getting 54 not out off 95 balls.
He gets an awful lot of grief, Dhoni, doesn't he? But when you think, I think he's largely in credit for Indian cricket, isn't he?
I think he gets a lot of grief for how many match-winning innings has he actually played. To be fair, so quite a lot.
A number, yes, a good number.
Quite a lot.
Hit the winning runs and the successful 2011 World Cup campaign as well. It was a 6, I believe. Crashed it back over long on.
Now is Wokes going to actually
and the
concede
nation went mad. Yeah, so
concede a run?
Wokes is continuing here. Indeed, figures of 1 wicket for no runs from his 3 overs. You'd have to say it's a fairly immaculate spell.
Yeah.
Here comes Wokes, bowling to Rowett now. Just the one slip in place now. And this is clipped off his pad. It is going to be a run, the first one that Wokes has conceded. Behind square on the leg side. Fielded by Archer. He whizzes it in to Joss. And Kohli comes on to strike.
Jay Grover wants to have a word with you, Grubby. He says, Chris Wokes has proved me wrong, not for the first or last time. How much in hock are you to the lone shark Wokes? Nicest man in cricket, my arse. Share your trauma, Grubby. All friends here.
No, I meant I was proven wrong, not for the first or last time. I'm not saying that Wokes has proven me wrong all of those occasions. We've got a bit of an off Hayden in place here for Kohli. Perhaps just trying to get in his head a little bit. He whips this one up to mid-on, however, where it's... Oh, there's Archer there. He couldn't have been the man who did the fielding before. Anyway, Archer's at mid-on, and he's shining the white ball, desperately trying to get some sort of gloss on one of the sides there. It's not a red duke, that's for certain. Yeah, so we've got this interesting fielder who's come in, what we like to describe as the off-Hayden. If you remember back to the 2005 Ashes, England a couple of times used a short fielder almost on the cut strip. We've got a similarly positioned man there now. This is a full ball driven up to mid-on again, where Archer once more does the fielding, tumbling as he does so, prevents any run.
We've got a definition for dub. So Alex Webb just clarifying what dub means. Abbreviation for the letter W, usually taken as a win. We took the dub today.
Oh my God.
So there we go, kids.
Never heard that before.
That's right up there with Hendo debating the merits of
It's like when
drill and hardcore and grime or whatever next door.
it's like when student banter and language goes too far. I'll give you an example of that in a minute. Kohli faces up to Wokes. Forward in defence comes Kohli, makes some gesture with his right hand as if to say, oh, there's loads of swing there, but I played it very well.
Considering I've just finished being a student, I'm interested to see what you've got to say.
I was a student many years before that, and there was one that I remember thinking that's just too far. He's had an absolute spaghetti.
What?
Spaghetti Western Supermare.
Oh.
Yeah, I told you it was stupid. Someone's just sat down and worked that out. You know, it's not spontaneous. An under edge here from Kohli, and the ball dangerously close to his stumps as it bounces through towards Joss Buttler there. Kohli cheekily looking for a single, but Rowett sensibly sends him back, probably from the safety of his leaning on his bat, I should imagine. Not interested in the slightest. But yeah, just under edge that one. It bounced on another day that could just bounce and land on top of your stumps.
Totally. But to be fair, Bearswell got away with a few of them in the first innings, so you know.
Yes. England openers rode their luck a little bit, I think, in those first 5 or 10 overs. Came through it. Kohli's going across his stumps this time and working it into the leg side. Fielded on the boundary there by, must be Plunkett, I'm guessing. And they come back for 2 this time. So both batsmen have 10, and the score at the moment is 20 for 1 after 7.
I think England played it really well, to be honest, because Shami and Boomer are so dangerous at the beginning, and they saw them off.
Yeah,
it was 58. It was
47, 48, wasn't it? After 10,
48, and then second innings got 90. Second 10 to 20, got 90. Added 98.
Yeah.
So I think they played it brilliantly, to be fair.
And from the bits that I've been listening to, it sounds like there's a little bit in this pitch, possibly a little bit too paced. So
First up with there's a little bit of variable bounce, wasn't there?
Okay.
A few kept low and a couple of under edges from Bairstow.
We saw that one keep low to Rowett, didn't we, a couple of overs ago. Here comes Archer. He's got 2 slips back in place here. Forward in defence, and there is no run. Kohli, almost like he's tossing a pancake at the non-striker's end, just scoops the ball up as it rolls towards him and knocks it back to the bowler. I don't want batsmen doing that. Like, it's not your job to go after the ball. You know, you play a defensive shot in front of you, and then batsmen go, "Can I get it?" And they pick it up. Just leave it. Just bloody leave it alone. Rowett tucks this one into up towards mid-on, and there is no run. That was a ball just on his Midland leg stump.
It's all too nice.
Hey?
It's all too nice.
Yeah. Well, it's just no need. There's no need.
Yeah, let the fielder put the effort in, get it.
Yeah. Get a little walk to square leg. You know, give some of the opposition the Paddington hard stare. Archer in again, still 2 slips in place, and Rowett just nudges this one up towards mid-on. Not much on that one though, so they can come through for a single. It's probably the sharpest sort of single that Rowett's going to want to take.
Yeah, he had to go a bit there, didn't he?
He's not a man for a
No.
sharp single, is he? He's comfortably built and likes hitting the ball hard. Amen to that.
It certainly works well for him, doesn't it?
It does. Coley back on strike. Archer's going to bowl to him. Up to the crease now and bowls. Beautiful action and dead straight. Coley's forward, playing this one up towards mid-on, and there is no run. 21 for 1 it is. 2 balls left in the 8th over. England will be pretty satisfied with the start, but when you've got the 2 best batsmen in the world at the crease, you can never quite feel relaxed.
Yep. Who would you bring on after this? After Wokes and Archer have had their little Plunkett, Wood?
Yeah, you probably give Woody a go, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Wood, yeah. Fellow Geordie.
Indeed, yeah. And it's a short ball and pulled by Coley down to long leg. And going to come through for comfortable single.
Still contracted at Durham, but he plays about a game a season. Same with Stokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they contract his horse as well? Does he get a retainer?
Gets a free bag of oats a season, that's all. Actually, talking of Stokes, I think he might be quite a smart move to bring on first
Yeah,
change.
good shout actually. Yeah.
He's, he always makes things happen when he bowls. He can bowl quite dry. This is an attempted pull by Rowett. He sort of half-heartedly went at it, really.
Yeah.
Thought about pulling out. Ended up not doing anything with it. Went through to the keeper. It's 22 for 1 after 8. And so I'd be inclined also, that old thing with all-rounders, they've done one thing well, then get them into the game with their other
Definitely.
string. So
I'm pretty sure after he took that catch against South Africa,
Yes.
they brought him on the ball and he took 3.
He took 2 or 3, didn't he?
2 or
Yeah.
3, didn't he? So
quite a good all-round display from him that day. 89 with the bat, an absolute wonder catch, 2 or 3 late wickets, and a run out. So he's pretty much,
Yeah,
he's pretty much done everything
yeah.
there. And he made a lovely cup of tea at half time as well.
certainly cement himself as the all-rounder that,
Yeah.
everyone, that he is.
I think we do take him for granted a little bit, Stokes. I even heard some dissenting voices prior to the tournament saying he should be dropped from the 11.
Oh no.
You think, yeah.
Who said that?
And then I can't remember. It was some fool. Probably me. No, it wasn't me. Here comes Wokes again, and this time batsman giving him the charge and lofting it over extra cover, and that's going to roll all the way to the extra cover fence for 4.
Smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that till you get sore. Smack that, oh.
Coley just thinking to himself, yep, I've had a little look now, and now I'm going to decide that you cannot bowl to me.
Yeah, he's had enough of Wokes going for nothing.
See those figures? I'm just going to marmalise them.
Yeah.
Just a pace and a half down the pitch, which made it into a half volley, and he just sort of swatted it really over extra cover, easy as you like. He's moved on to 15, the score to 26 for 1. Still we have that shortish mid-off, or off Hayden, as Coley defends this next ball into the onside, up towards mid-on, and there's no run.
Jay Grover says, I've just realised how terrifying Wokes would be showing up at my day door with open-handed slaps and half a yellow pages. Still better than Butler, I'd never know he was there until it was too late.
Are we talking about potential to be assassins or something?
It's
what
on
on
his
earth?
head.
By the way, what on earth is a day door? You got one door for daylight hours and one for the night, have you? You strange man. Forward comes Coley, busily looking for a single, but once again Rowett sends him back. He played that one into into cover point. So no run. 26 for 1 it remains.
A few people still can't wrap their heads around spaghetti reference, Grubby. Do you want to
Right.
explain that one again? What's
Spaghetti-
Melly is struggling.
Spaghetti Western. You've heard of the phrase, the type of film, Spaghetti Western.
Yeah.
There's a town in the West Country called Weston-super-Mare. It's in Somerset, I think. And Wokes bowls a straight ball, angled in towards middle and leg, and just tucked into the leg side there by Coley. They come through for a single. And then if you've had a mare, you've had a nightmare. So it's a very tortured way of saying you've had a nightmare.
Yeah.
You've had a complete spaghetti.
Surely having a Western. So, Western Supermare.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's kind of one. It's one removed. Is it?
Yeah.
One too many removed.
Yeah, I've had a Western.
Yeah. I'd just about let you get away with that. Yeah.
Just about.
So it's 27 for 1 now. 2 balls left in the 9th over. Close up of lovely Joss there with his eyes.
Oh, lovely eye. Cornflower
Oh.
blue, aren't they? Oh.
Matches the strip. This one is turned into the leg side, just off a bit of an under edge and thigh, I think, from Rowett. I think momentarily about a single, but decide that it ain't there.
I don't know whether they're dreamy blue eyes or there's slightly something dead behind them.
Yeah, they could be the eyes of a cold killer. I think this is potentially what was it Jay talking about? Someone arriving at his day door. Mother, somebody's at the day door. Should I fetch father from the scullery? We cut away to see some net action for some reason, despite the fact we're still in an over here. Rowett plays this one backward of point. It's fielded. It's the end of the 9th, and it's 27 for 1. What else you got there? Anything about different types of apertures and people's houses?
Well, I think everyone's got to grips with the spaghetti thing. No, it's gone a bit quiet actually. I think maybe everyone's having kettles on, a cup of tea or something like that.
Going back that net cutaway, they do love their odd cutaways in the middle of overs and stuff.
It's really odd.
So
it's
strange.
really strange. I don't understand.
It's like, oh right, there's 10 seconds without some play.
Yeah.
Right, we're just going to show some houses or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. Director's going, oh, we can't just show an aerial shot of a cricket ground with some players wandering around. We'll cut away to something more interesting. It's fine between overs, but
yeah, totally. But not in the mid. Not when there's a
no,
ball.
no,
You're
exactly.
just waiting for the seam ball to like get the ball back and to get big in there.
They'll miss a wicket one day, and then they'll be sorry.
Exactly.
Don't come running to me when that happens. So England, just seeing the table at the moment, as I'm sure many of you are aware, England now sit in 5th place with their game in hand over Pakistan, who will go back above Pakistan should they win this game. Kohli has 16 off his 20, and he's going to be facing Archer, who's going to bowl 5th over of his spell. Still 2 slips in place. This one is defended from the crease to cover, and there is no run.
I think England ought to be happy with this first innings, to be fair. Got 1 wicket.
Yep.
27, well, probably a bit more, 27 for 1, but...
Yeah, I know England will be happy enough with that.
Yeah.
Will they be made to rue the Rowett drop, though?
Oh, that is...
Run rate already above 7.5. Required run rate. In comes Archer again. Just that nice nagging length that he bowls, and Kohli's back in his crease playing it to point, and there's no run.
Josh Robinson, going back to spaghetti... I've got Spaghetti Junction in my head for some reason. Anyway, he says it reminds me of Temple's nickname in Jennings. His name is Charles Arthur Temple, so naturally he's called Dog. But it's a bit harsh to call a chap Dog, so it's shortened to Dog's Body, but that's a bit of a mouthful, so everyone calls him Bod.
Bod. Oh, an attempted pull here. That's perhaps a slower ball that time from Archer.
Kohli just didn't get the pitch.
Kohli appeared to be through the shot, didn't he, before the ball was on him, through to the keeper.
Oh, Dave Graver has clarified the door situation. We'll come to that.
Oh,
in a
good.
minute.
I can't wait to be enlightened by the day door descriptor. Kohli once again facing up to Archer. 3-dot ball so far in this over. In comes Archer now. Bowls and a nice straight delivery, which Kohli can only defend. Back up to him. No run.
So he says, I have 2 phones to ring my flat up, one for day and one for night, because I often work all night or all day. He's a serial killer.
Yeah. How many passports have you got, Joe?
And Spinner Grace joins us, listening from Hong Kong
Hello,
Airport,
Grace.
en route to Stockholm. What have I missed? And she looks like young Kate Bush. It's another one of these very nice pictures which someone to see flash up.
Nothing wrong with that. Young Kate Bush.
What are you doing in Hong Kong? Why are you going to Stockholm?
These and other questions will not be answered later on. Kohli still on 16. Archer's bowled an excellent disciplined over to him. And is yet to take a run off this particular over that he faces up now. This one he runs off the face of the bat down to 3rd man. Just let it come to him and let the ball hit the bat. Expertly played down to 3rd man for a single.
So 96 miles per hour, that one.
Really? Okay, right, yeah, it did, didn't it? We've seen a lot of 90-odd mile per hour bowling in this whole World Cup, haven't we?
96 is...
Yeah. It's funny, I went to see the England versus Bangladesh game, me and the family, in Cardiff a few weeks back. And we were sort of at wide, long on, as you're looking at that screen there, if you like. So much more of a sort of side-on view of his run-up. And whereas when you look at him on TV, you think, oh, he's putting no effort into that at all. When you see it side-on, he actually does pump his little legs.
Yeah.
Well, not so little.
No.
This is defended by Rowett into point. There is no run. It's the end of the 10th over. We'll have a change-up here in the com box. 28 for 1 after 10 is the score.
commentary, bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
Good afternoon, everybody. Rob Sutton will be taking. I will be here. I'll be taking you through the next 10 overs, ball by ball. Callie will be reading out your tweets.
Kia ora.
And we have Bear on the jingles, and we've got a new bowler, so the Bear will be springing into action early on.
Straight
it
into
is
the
the
middle
man
overs.
who is back in the England setup today, Liam Plunkett.
Ooh, sorry.
Played tests in 07, brought out the drinks in 08. We won the championship in 09, and then again in 2010. The children 11, we dropped to the seconds. I stayed there in 2012, moved to the Yorkshire in 13, and then in 14 I'm back in the test team with children's son. 7 years.
Here's Plunkett from the Birmingham end, bowls to Coley, who works his way through the offside. It's going to be fielded on the boundary. They think about two, and wisely they decide against it.
That would have been
just
suicidal.
a single. Absolutely would have been, because it was a very good throw. I'm not quite sure who it was out there in front of the Holly stand, but it's just a single. 29 for 1 is the Indian score. Very much England's opening power play.
And they've really put themselves. Run rate's gone up from just over 6.8 to 7.7 already. Should be a bit of a worry.
Very much so, very much so. Of course, Pant in the team. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes today as Plunkett bowls and Rohit just defends this one. Coley is backing up a mile there. He wanted the quick single, but it definitely wasn't on there. Coley definitely wanted to get on with things here. So we see some of the highlights. Of course, Rohit dropped by Root. And,
could be costly.
It wasn't a particularly difficult chance, and the man who I have now christened the Birmingham Botham, Chris Wokes, taking a caught and bowl to get rid of KL Rahul without scoring. That's the only wicket to fall so far. How are you seeing things, Callie?
Well, I think the 10 quid that we've put on for India to win is not going to go very far.
Next delivery is just worked into the offside by Rohit. They'll get 1. Score moves to 30. The target is 338.
Also, Birmingham's looking a lot nicer than it was on Wednesday.
It's looking a lot nicer than the previous 2 games, of which I went to both of them, and of course the sun's come out to the match that I couldn't get a ticket for.
Well, yeah.
If they could stick around for the 1st of August and the first Ashes test, that would be much appreciated. Coley took a couple of steps down to that next delivery from Plunkett, and once again it's a single through the offside, and it's fielded on the boundary. Single taken. 31 for 1 is the score. 3 from the first 4 balls of Plunkett. It's Bairstow, who is so often out there on the boundary, who has done the fielding.
What the hell is what's going on in there?
I suspect it's the F1, isn't it?
I assume Max Verstappen is flying. Nesso have always got some money on Max Verstappen. If you're unaware, as Rohit plays and misses outside the off stump to a slower one from Plunkett, that was a good bit of bowling. I think England have missed him. It's no coincidence they've lost a couple of games that he's not been involved in.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good in the middle overs. He reliably gets 2 or 3 wickets with his slower balls. I mean, everyone says, he's lost a bit of pace, but he's wily and he's tall and he hits a decard when he does, and he can still get it up when he needs to.
I can also understand the logic of not picking him, though, because they have needed 2 spinners. That is, again, Rohit's chase one outside the off stump, and it's through to Butler. That's a good start from Plunkett. 11 overs gone, India 31 for 1. Do we have any tweets?
Yeah, we do have a few tweets. Not sure where we're up to, sorry, so if I've skipped anyone. Roger Melly's got some more rhyming slang. Dennis Waterman saying someone had done the Peter.
Done the Peter?
Oh, I don't understand that at all. Razzie Mac, listening in Sydney. Fox Sport muted, enjoying the last few beers before attempting dry July. Already half midnight, but reckon it doesn't start till you wake up on the 1st, right?
I would agree with that.
I would agree with that. Dry July, why don't? I suppose it's winter down there.
It is winter, yes.
You don't want to go dry in summer.
No. There's also, is there something February? There's some sober February or something? Can't remember.
There's Stoptober as well now.
There's Stoptober.
And dry January, obviously.
Yeah, and then there's
as always.
Movember, which is just horrid.
Yeah. I did Movember a few years ago. I looked terrible. And we've got a change of bowling, and it's going to be Mark Wood from the pavilion end.
Yeah, of course.
One of our.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler.
Here he comes, Wood, bustling in, bowls to Kohli, worked away into the leg side. It'll go over the pitch that was used for the first 2 games and out to the leg side boundary, just a single to the Indian captain.
He's bowled all right in this tournament as
He
well,
has
hasn't
bowled well.
It's been quite expensive economy-wise, I think.
Yeah,
at
you see,
times.
the only problem England have had is the batting.
Yeah.
Really, they and ironically, that is the bit everybody thought was okay coming into this tournament. It was the bowling we were perhaps looking a little concerned at, but the batting, particularly against Sri Lanka in that game up at Headingley. Here's Wood. Rohit has 12. Wood bowls to him, and he's just defending this back to the bowler. I think Wood might have fallen over there, which is rather customary when he bowls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can fault the batting in that chase against Pakistan that we didn't make. I mean, we nearly got there 300. It's always difficult chasing that amount of runs.
And Pakistan had a little bit of reverse swing in that match with Wahab and Amir. It's a little bit calm in the crowd at the moment at Edgbaston. The Indians a little pensive, and I'm not surprised.
Still got over 300 runs to go, and they're down into 38 overs.
Wood bowls. Rohit's gone for a big one. It's gone over the England captain Morgan, and it's going to run away out towards the cow corner boundary for 4 runs.
4. Good God, yeah.
I'm not sure he quite got all of that, Rohit, but he got enough on it to make sure it got away to the vacant cow corner boundary.
That was just stand and deliver, wasn't
I
it? Really?
Yeah, Wood just dropped a little bit short there, and Rohit was back onto it, and you can't have fielders everywhere on the boundary.
No.
Not anymore, anyway.
I've got a few tweets, if that's all right. Spinner Grace was wanting an update because she's been on a plane. Sorry.
Well, the update is that Wood is bowling, and Rohit's just run this down into the offside, and it's fielded by, it might be Vince, actually. Jason Orr is not on the field, by the way, fielding.
Oh, really?
I just wonder if he is being held back to make sure he's fit for Wednesday against the Kiwis.
Can you do that? Doesn't he have to try and go out?
Don't know. I don't know. Is it the Chris Gale rule?
I don't know, because Dre Russell had to
Are
go
there
out,
rules
didn't
for Chris Gale?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Wood's at the top of his mark. Yes, that required run rate is heading towards 8 at the moment. As Wood runs in, bowls, and Rohit's beaten outside the off stump. The ball actually bounced on its way through to Butler.
bit of a
It's
cutter.
definitely a slower one there from Wood, and I think that's the way to go on this wicket. We saw Pandya have a bit of success when he came back later in the England innings with slower balls. 36 for 1 the score.
And I think they realised that a bit late, didn't they? Because they went all out for the first 20, and that second 10 overs, as you say, got 98 runs, already put the skates on England's innings. And then they quickly realised, right, just hit it into the deck with a bit of cut, and it's a lot harder to time.
Considering where England were after 20, India will probably be okay chasing 338 to win this game. It's not going to be easy for them.
Nope.
I feel these two are going to be very important. Wood bowls short. Rohit pulls this away. Is a chase on here for Plunkett at fine leg. He won't get it.
Good
Second
shot.
boundary in the over. Nice shot from Rohit. And that's the end of the 12th over. India 40 for 1. Let's have some tweets.
Yeah, Rocky Cricket makes a similar point, saying that Bumrah and Shami proved that either Yorkers or well-directed short balls are the way to bowl. Is England capable of doing that too? Major Percy Flage knew a Gloria who worked all night. Warwi Palm, hello. Watching from a bar in Cape Town. This is just a false dawn. After a slow start, India will chip away, then go Burko at the end and chase it down with a couple of overs to spare.
Doomed. That's quite possible.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not, though.
Kia ora back to Josh Robinson. The jet lag's fine. I've been here for a couple of weeks already.
Hey.
New over from Plunkett from the city end. Bowls to Kohli, beating him outside the off stump. Good bit of bowling from Plunkett. And that's exactly why he's back in the team today.
And I should shout out just to a couple of people on Crick Tracker, I think. Elisha Rukmuddin, Prince Shan and Rajendra Nandwala.
Hello to all of you.
Indeed. Hello indeed.
And hope you are enjoying our coverage of this crucial match in this 2019 Cricket World Cup. A match that England dare not lose at a ground where they have a tremendous record down the years. Plunkett bowls to Kohli, beaten again outside the off stump, and Joss Butler looking rueful there that the Indian captain has not found the outside edge. This is good stuff from Plunkett. A couple of dot balls again, a bit of a knuckle ball I think that might have been from Plunkett.
Quite possibly. There's less pressure on India as well, isn't there? Even if they don't win, it's still they can't expect them to lose their next 2 games.
Obviously, Bangladesh is I think India will view that as a banana skin, but they do know they play Sri Lanka last, and they should win that. Plunkett bowls. Kohli drawn forward, gets an edge, goes down to third man, Woodfields, and they get 1. Kohli's gone to 21. Not the most fluent 21 Virat Kohli will have made in this tournament, but he is still in, and that's the crucial thing for India at this stage. Obviously 450s in a row for Virat, but yet to get a century in this tournament.
Probably. Well, shut up.
I'm trying the commentator's curse. I'm trying to get him out now.
That's the reverse curse, though. He goes against 150 now, doesn't he?
It's Plunkett. In he comes. Bowls to Rowett. Comes forward. And through the offside this one goes. I suspect that's Bairstow who's got the prize of fielding in front of the Holly stand. Not that it'll be like what it'll be for the Australian fielders who'll be down there during the Ashes. Good luck, lads.
I imagine Adil Rashid has been the one conundrum in this. We all thought he'd be the top pick, didn't we? And pretty much everybody has targeted him.
Well, that the Pakistan game that England lost, Rashid I think only bowled 5 or 6 in that game, and Pakistan were the first to really hit him out the attack.
Yeah.
And a few others have followed since. Plunkett is continuing at the moment, and he's bowls to Kohli. It was a fuller one, and it's just driven back to the bowler, played into the ground.
Another slower ball.
Well, you say it's a slow ball. It's a slower one for Plunkett, maybe at 86 miles an hour, but the ball might just be gripping in the pitch a little.
Yeah. In which case, the choice to bat first was the right one.
It can do at Edgbaston. I've seen plenty of one-day internationals where it is tricky batting second. It's often easier if it's a day-nighter. You often want to be chasing at Edgbaston because it does really zip on under the lights there. But obviously, this is a day game. Plunkett bowls. Kohli drives through the offside. Once again, the ball will go out to Bairstow, and they'll take a run. So tidy stuff this from Plunkett. 3 off his first over, 3 off his second, and it's 43 for 1.
England will be very happy with how this is going at the moment. Would have liked that catch from Rowett to stick, obviously.
Yeah, apart from that, you can't really fault England at the moment.
Got some tweets here. Josh Robinson's going to get some sponsorship to shave every day in November to raise money for women's aid. Rashad Bahuja is typically pessimistic at the start. India have failed with the ball and in the field, and they are failing with the bat. No intent today, not even in the running. Only just beat Bumrah is the positive, and I'm afraid that Shami death bowling was exposed.
Yeah, that's true. It was.
Yes, I'm not sure if we ever quite got what that third spell was. That last spell was from Shami. But there are a lot of wickets and a lot of runs. First delivery of the 14th over has been worked away by Kohli into the leg side. It's gone to a gap, and they've managed to get home for 2. Kohli to 24.
Jay Grover asks, hasn't it always been the batting which fails in all formats, despite it being constantly claimed as England's strength?
Often in Test cricket.
Yeah.
Often in Test cricket.
And it has been known to fail in ODIs, and that's.
When it goes wrong, it has gone spectacularly wrong. Yeah. Which, in fairness, we've not had the 100 all out that a lot of people are fearing. It's just been a little slow as Wood bowls short. Kohli's pulled this one away. There's a long chase on here for Bairstow, but he'll get there on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Throws the ball back into play, and they get 2 there.
2,
yes, just lazy. The 2.
That should have been 3.
That's good fielding from Bairstow, and slightly poor running there from India, because I think it would have been 3 in the first innings.
Yeah, I think England would have won 3 to that.
Got a question for you from Dave Emery's. Just home from work, on a scale of 0 to Woi Woi Pom, how doomed are we?
I'm quite optimistic, I must admit.
Optimistic. I mean, these two certainly can pick up the pace, but
absolutely
having to go at 8 and over.
If England can nip one of Kohli or Rohit out soon as Wood bowls, and Kohli just tried to turn it into the leg side, he got a leading edge, just bounced back at the feet of the Indian captain. He is furious he didn't get that ball away. I wonder if Wood's the one they're looking to target.
I think so. He does less with the ball, doesn't it? I mean, it's just raw pace. You think with Archer, he's got the height. Wokes is slower, but he nips it.
That required run rate, he's going to hit 8 soon. I know we're early on, but
that's a lot over the course of such a length of time.
It is. Definitely rather be in England's shoes for the first time in weeks. Here's Wood from the pavilion end. Bowls to Kohli. That kept a little low, maybe. Kohli just played it away into the offside. Vince on for Jason Roy. Does the fielding. So
we
2
can have
2
dot
balls.
As long as you don't have to bat.
Yeah.
Ravi's trying to contravene the ICC rules about racism and saying, wondering why white people refuse to do the alcohol-free December, a month when most of the world's teams play cricket but don't celebrate the temperate Northern Hemisphere turning of the year. Hashtag coincidence?
Can't imagine December without alcohol.
Absolutely.
You can't have December in the Southern Hemisphere without alcohol. It's Christmas parties.
I can imagine. Same here as well.
Ooh,
nice shot from Kohli, driven through the offside.
Drilled.
That's gone through the extra cover boundary for 4 runs and brings up the India 50. The mass Indian support have come out in numbers in Birmingham. I think the Barmy Army are not impressed at their ticket allocation for this game, unsurprisingly, really. Apparently they only got 30 tickets for this match. I think it should really be giving more to the home team, but that's where we are. Wood bowls to Kohli, came across his stumps there, just plays it back to the bowler, and there's no run. A better over for India. How many did we get? How many did they get off that over? 8 off that over.
So just about up with a rate.
So if they get 36 more of those, India will win the game. 51 for 1 from 14. Obviously they're going to be quite behind on the comparison because this was the period of the match where England really went for it, with Roy and Bairstow at the top of the innings.
They picked up quite a lot at the end as well. They got some big overs at the end.
Well, Butler got 20 off about 6 balls, I think it was. Again, those could be very important runs, and it's felt like the England that we've seen over the last 4 years has returned today.
Absolutely, and there was just a quiet 4, 5, 6 overs, wasn't there, in the 30s when they lost those 2 wickets at once.
So we've had an email. As the ball from first livery of Plunkett's new over is played down to third man from Rohit. We've had an email from Mark RUSP at iCloud.com. Hello to you. Don't email him now. Dudes, totally enjoying your broadcast. I live in Crete now, having sold up in England last December and moved here. Big cricket fan. Have had to make do with text commentary from the World Cup so far. Searched and searched for radio commentary this morning and found Gorilla. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Glad to be of service.
Dot ball by Kohli is the next delivery. Crete must be lovely. I don't know how warm it is over in Crete.
Yeah, but you've probably got the sea not very far from you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You've got water in this kind of heat. It's never that bad.
I've been to Zakynthos a couple of times on holiday. Very nice indeed.
Went to a wedding in Spetses once.
I've never been there. No.
That's the only time I've been to Greece.
Plunkett into his third over. Bowls to Kohli. Drawn forward. And tight single. Archer missed the stumps with his throw. And it was backed up. I think it was Root who was doing the backing up. Might have been interesting with a direct hit, but I suspect the batsmen were in anyway. So it's 53 for 1.
Hello back to Anna Forsyth, who's commenting on my dulcet tones. Not sure if anyone's ever said that before. Thanks very much. Cheers, bro. Razzie Mac, do we think England will miss Moeen's spin in the middle overs?
Oh, well, they don't seem to be at the moment. Plunkett's doing a good job. The forgotten man is Tom Curran, isn't it?
Tom Curran is the forgotten man of this tournament. Plunkett bowls and Rohit plays and misses. He was going for a sort of a flick through the leg side. Didn't really want to call it a pull, but he's missed out. And England just going past the outside edge a few times here, especially with Plunkett.
Some clarification from Sean Bennett at Shandy Ben. Roy doesn't have to field because he endured an external blow off Bumrah while batting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an excuse.
Yeah.
Ow! It hurts.
So slightly, I forgot my kit, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't have to
Plunkett
feel.
bowls, another player miss from Rohit. That was a wider one from Plunkett. It was almost tempting, the Indian opener there, but he played and missed it outside the off stump. So this is good stuff, really good stuff from Liam Plunkett. The partnership currently worth 45 between these two, who I feel I've seen a lot of in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I feel I've watched Kohli and Sharma bat a lot together.
74 balls. I mean, you know these two guys can pick up the pace.
Especially Rohit.
Yeah.
So he got that century against Pakistan a couple of weeks ago as Plunkett completes the over. Down the pitch, he's hit him. That might have come off the shoulder rather than the helmet, but I think Plunkett just held that one back at 76 miles an hour, and it's hit Rohit. He's absolutely fine though. So that's another tight over from Plunkett. 2 from it, 15 gone. India 53 for 1, chasing 338.
Want to say hello to Ramesh Kohli, CSK Kaushik Gutedar and Prabs Carling on Crick Tracker. And James in Twickenham says that India's kit reminds him of a 1980s pencil case. Craig Nutley, 12 overs of spin costing over 90. India made a huge error. It's going to be a hard chase, but not impossible while Kohli is there. England has been disappointing, but seeing I'm South African, perhaps I should be quiet.
Who said that?
Craig Nutley.
Well, yeah, you should.
Wood bowls, start of the 16th over, whipped away by Kohli. Is that going to go to the boundary? No, Bairstow comes round, fields in front of Stanley Barnes' stand. And they get 2. Kohli moves to 33.
In light bystand, the key point on the 100 all-out is that we haven't had it yet.
That's very true. That's very true. It was always the fear, wasn't it, that it might happen in one of the knockout games. But we'll see. I think a lot of England's chances, if they get through, a lot will depend on who they play, I think. Because I do think India might engage an extra gear when we get to semi-final stage.
They might do, but they are vulnerable themselves.
Wood bowls. Kohli just defends this time, and it's fielded close in by, I think that's Morgan there. Ashley Giles in the stand, and that might be Paul Farbrace with him there.
It is indeed.
Oh, he was on. He did the verdict with Bob Willis on Tuesday night after the Australia game. Couldn't say a bad word about them, unsurprisingly, considering he's only just finished his stint.
Josh Robinson's trying to challenge my editing skills, saying that he can't imagine breakfast without alcohol, and questioning why the Barmy Army should get tickets. Great that the allocations will break off.
Wood bowls, and Kohli plays away in the leg side. He's run the first one hard, but they're not going to get 2 there. Would have been Pakistan style running from yesterday if they'd have gone for 2 there.
Yeah,
56 for 1.
And Dave Emery's just trying to sing my jingle. Thank you, Dave.
Well, the cry of weight's now 8.17.
It's the trouble with these big scores, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just creep up and they can get out of control quite quickly.
They can do. I mean, this gets up to 9. That's nearly out of control, even with lots of wickets left, you know?
Yeah.
It's easier in a T20. You've only got to get through that certain amount of overs, but to do it for like 30 overs is not so easy.
Next delivery from Wood was just run down a third man by Rohit Sharma for a single. I think we've only had the one boundary in this passage since we've come on, so England are keeping it tight. Very good start from Wokes, who's I think bowled pretty well in this tournament.
Yeah, I think so too as well.
And I think Grubby was saying when he was on it, he could have been one of the vulnerable ones, with the assumption that Jofra Archer was going to be picked. In the end, they've left out David Willey, which I think a few people are still grumbling a little bit about not having the left arm option.
I agree with not having the left arm option, but as I said, I think he's too slow, and Tom Curran's decent.
Good fielding there from Joe Root, close in, and he saved a run there. Oh no, yes he has. There was a shy at the stumps because Kohli was out of his ground, but Vince has come round to do the backing up, and there's no run. 57 for 1.
Scott Standing, who has the wonderful Twitter handle Standing Scott, thrilled to have discovered Guerrilla Cricket, and we're thrilled to have discovered you.
Hello,
Sat
Scott.
on a hotel balcony in Mallorca with a beer, listening to the excellent commentary. Wife is slightly less thrilled. Hello to Mrs. Standing.
Hello to Mrs.
Come
Standing.
on, we're calling your name out on worldwide radio. What more can you want?
Nice spot that you've got there. It's Wood bowls to complete the 16th over. Kohli just defends his forward. We are through 16 of this India run chase. It's 57 for 1.
This is good tight bowling by England here.
Very much so. Just pausing, I was wondering, 16 overs is often the call for a hydration break.
Ah, yes, it will.
But I think they're going to probably bowl one more. England have been quite quick with the overs in these in this match so far.
Looks like the Mexican wave has started at Edgbaston.
The Indian fans are obviously bored.
There was a
Indian
good one.
fans do drink though.
They do.
I think they do. I think
Pakistan fans got Mexican waves going on Wednesday, and they were going around both ways around the ground and then meeting.
I tell you what, I've not seen a Mexican wave with such speed as the Pakistan
Yes.
fans were able to produce.
Well, you're not having to hold your beer, are you?
That's a good point. I was.
You were one of the very few.
It was great. I've sat in Ollie's stand plenty of times, and the first time I've gone straight to the front.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic. Shame it's not always like that. Anyway, Plunkett is starting a new over. Rohit's beaten the infield here. There's a chase on for Bairstow, and he's done well there. Excellent return into Butler, and restricts them to just a single. 58 for 1. 24 to Rohit, 34 to Kohli. So Kohli has overtaken the Rohit, who obviously opened the innings. And that's the 50 partnership off 82 balls.
Well, Rohit's going just over 50%. You know that'll pick that up. Cody's going slow as well. Got to pick it up.
They're going to have to at some point. Plunkett bowls. That was outside the off stump. Cody's cut this away. It's going out towards the Hollies stand for 4. Nice shot from Coley.
1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
There's an Indian lad in the crowd absolutely pumped for this run chase and giving it some.
What's he been taking as well?
Isn't he? He's in the wrong place this weekend to be taking stuff, isn't he? Should be watching. I think Kylie's on reasonably soon.
Yes, I've seen a few gigs.
Coley back on his toes there. Vince with a little misfield, but there's no run that it costs. Yes, I saw Liam Gallagher's set last night, and the Killers.
I saw a bit of the Killers. I didn't see Liam Gallagher. I'm not really interested in Liam Gallagher.
Liam Gallagher was as expected. Killers was excellent. I
Killers
thought.
was good. The end of it was. I saw a bit of Wu-Tang. Later in the morning, that was good.
The Chemical Brothers, I think, were coming on as well at some point. I didn't catch them. Plunkett bowls, another one outside the off stump. Coley drives. It's a diving stop by Archer on the edge of the circle. He won't save. He'll save more than a single. So the score goes to 63 for 1. The win predictor has England at 78%. I'd certainly have England as favourites. 78 is quite strong. I mean, the bookies have had England as favourites from the start of this run chase.
Well, they were pretty much joint. No, actually, right at the beginning, I think India was slightly stronger. They were 21 to...
Short from Plunkett, pulled away by Rohit. He's found the gap, and that goes crashing into the covers for 4 runs. Just bounced before going for a 6.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Just dropped a little short there, Plunkett, and I think Rohit was waiting for it. He's pulled that away to the square leg boundary, down to where the groundsman shed is at Edgbaston. Thankfully, he's not been as busy as he has been for the previous 2 games at this tournament. The game actually started at 10:30, which was a bonus. Plunkett bowls, last ball of the over. Rohit works that away into the offside, but it's fielded once again by the substitute James Vince. We are through 17. It's 67 for 1. And do we have any more tweets?
Only a couple. Ravi Nair saying that he's been saying for a while during this tournament that England are better off setting than chasing. Machismo be damned.
I would agree.
And Roger Melly wondering, if we're speaking of the Mexican wave, why don't we invite Mexico to participate in the next World Cup, just so that we can see how it's done? Well, that would involve expanding the tournament, and that seems to be slightly controversial.
It's not controversial. It's something ICC don't want to do. It'd be good to have. It'd be nice to have. Just put
Can
random
you
countries
imagine
in.
Mexican cricket? Be nuts.
I think they'd be really good at T20 if they got a team together.
Well, you could do qualifying tournaments like they do with the World Cup, you know.
Yeah, you see.
Maybe have the 8 seeded teams go through and then the rest are qualifying.
Wood bowls short, starting the 18th over. It was a lively bouncer from Wood. Coley did well to get back on it, actually, and just pulled it down into the leg side. There's no run.
Evil Scooters, having been very polite, is now just starting to needle me. This might be starting to bubble up a bit, not like the Black Caps yesterday.
Ooh.
Thanks.
Low blow.
At least you got play at Lords. I mean, I'm taking.
And
the
I saw a
positives.
Trent Bolt hat trick.
Yep,
I'm
very much
holding
so.
on to that.
Very much so, and you are very likely to make the semi-finals, barring some
Very likely.
It's going to take some bizarre net run rate results. Some match fixing's going to have to happen. As good stop there from James Vince, a substitute fielder. Coley has still got through for a run there. It was a cut shot, and we're not going to see a replay because we've got yet more analysis of that drop catch by Joe Root. He thought he'd have taken it. He's dropped a few in the slips recently, and not just in one-day cricket, test matches as well.
Not
obviously, with Cook gone, he'll obviously be in the slips for the test matches that are coming up later in the summer. Rohit is back on strike. He's actually had fewer balls than Cody, despite the fact he had a couple of overs head start on his captain. Wood with a hop, skip and a jump. Bowls and beats Rohit outside the off stump. Just getting flashbacks to Tuesday and Australia keep playing and missing, and Finch and Warner got themselves through a difficult spell, and I wonder if Rohit is doing the same here for India.
That was a pretty quick ball, 91 miles an hour.
Rohit was through the shot. Wood has fallen over again. Does some sort of, he's sort of cocked his leg up at the end there.
It's a lot of falling over Wood, doesn't it?
It does a lot of. I think his falling over is like Stephen Finn crashing into the stumps.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a similar setup. Wood from the pavilion end bowls to Rohit, and that's played away into the offside. It's going to run down a third man, and they'll get a single. So the score goes to 69 for 1 India, and Rohit I think has gone to 29 with that single. It's just off our screen at the moment. He has indeed gone to 29. This is Wood's 4th over. Might be time for Adil Rashid soon.
Yeah, I'd get him in now, get him out of the way. He's 20 overs on top of this.
Very much so. Obviously Ben Stokes an option as well, whether England might go to golden arm Joe Root. As Wood bowls to Kohli, and he's beaten Kohli now on the inside. I think Kohli thought that ball was a little shorter than it was, and it went through at 92 miles an hour.
That's pretty quick.
It's lively.
At George A. Newman, the T-boy, it's going to be super exciting seeing how England can, edited, not win from here. Jay Grover says, the substitute James Vince sounds like a really depressing 19th century short story.
We should ask the T-boy, are we going to see the T-boy this summer? Usually comes out one day a year.
Last ball of the over coming up from Wood. He's in. Bowls to Kohli. Back on his toes. This time it beats Vince. They should get 2 here because there's a chase on for the third man fielder, who I assume is Plunkett. And they have got back for 2. So we're through 18 overs. It's 71 for 1, and it is now time for the aforementioned hydration break. Maria Erasmus is striding out of the middle with some drinks for the umpires. And in fairness, it's a warm day. It's not like it's 12 degrees and we're having a drinks break when they really should be bringing out hot chocolate and tea and things like that.
Yes.
True. Josh Robinson continues his tirade against the Barmy Army. The one thing they're not doing is watching the cricket, and obviously they're also making it harder for everyone else to watch the cricket. We've got a new listener, Marcus Allen, listening for the first time from a poolside spot in Montenegro, where we're enjoying an extended rehydration break. Keep up the good chatter. #spaghetti. Nice one. That's a good first tweet. Razzie Mack, what does Carly, that's me, think of her compatriots' chances of winning the whole thing? Nah, never.
You've only got to win 2 games. That's the thing. The Bear and I were chatting earlier about you get nothing for finishing first in this tournament. You've just got to finish in that top 4, and then really it's who plays the best cricket on the day.
Absolutely.
There's a famous cheese ad in New Zealand. Good things take time.
Oh well, there's another World Cup you'll probably win this year.
Yeah,
that's looking doubtful too. Yeah.
Only. You tried watching
England? We're glass half empty people.
Have you tried watching England over the last couple of years? Crikey, I've got tickets to go and watch England in Cardiff in a warm-up game, which to form the Welsh are in is going to be a fun experience.
We've got Sam Jackson seeking decent cricket radio while studying in South Africa. Great to pair audio to the ubiquitous muted TV coverage. Kia ora and hello to you.
Hello to you.
Oh, and Evil Scoot has clarified that he watched the game till 6 a.m. this morning in the vain hope the Aussies would fall flat on their faces. He was devastated by the ease of the victory, but yes, the hat-trick was pretty cool. And the T-boy wants to know, can you do me a favour and tell Connor Jones to make some pims, pretty please.
Tell him to make some bloody pims, Connor. Come on, get on with it.
It's definitely been pims weather the last few days here in the UK. I kind of feel as the weather's improved, so has this tournament. It's taken a little while to get going. There were some decent games early on. That England-Pakistan game. Who did Australia struggle against? But West Indies.
Yeah,
that game was a good game. But really, it's been in this really since England lost to Sri Lanka. We've had some cracking games. That New Zealand-South Africa was a real cracker. We had a thriller yesterday, and I think this game could
West
still.
West Indies, New Zealand was another.
Yes,
New Zealand, the Kiwis actually have had the most thrilling games, if you take.
And obviously we had India nearly losing to Afghanistan, and Pakistan nearly losing to Afghanistan, and still scratching my head
as to how that happened.
But 24 hours on as to how Afghanistan don't have more than no points to their name in the table. We've just seen a clip of Graham Gooch getting 115 in the 1987 semi-final. Unfortunately, England went on to lose the final that year, or will they be involved in the knockout stages of this particular World
We've been to a
Cup?
fair few finals then, haven't we?
Well, 87, 92. Were we in one of the 71s? Did we get to the final of one of those?
I think we might have done.
Oh, here we
It's
go.
time- it's time for
going
some
to be
spin.
the testing time.
It's
This is
time
gonna
for
be
some
the testing
spin.
time. How are India going to handle this one?
Adil Rashid on the 45. 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 Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it. Oh, Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it. Adil can turn it both ways. Adil can turn it on the 45.
And Rashid will be starting after the drinks break to Rohit from the Birmingham end. And the first one is driven into the offside. They'll go for a single, will they? No, they've turned it down. Didn't want to take on Joe Root. Slow that from Rashid. Really threw that one up.
Not a bad call. Of course, India's spinners got very much targeted by England's batsmen.
Indeed. Rashid does have a decent record against Kohli, which might be part of the reason. That one kept a little low, I think, but Rohit's worked this away through the offside. It'll be fielded by Bairstow, loses his cap, and they take a run. 72 for 1. In the 19th over.
Where were we after 20? We were virtually...
It's about 140, I think, off the top of my head.
150, yeah.
Yeah. It was obviously that spell, I think they took 98, didn't they, off overs 11 to 20. And in the end, could end up being the difference between the two teams. Kohli now is batting in a hat with Rashid on, and he's tossed this one up. Kohli didn't time it particularly well, and it's fielded close in, I think, by Owen Morgan. No run there.
Sort of makes Kohli look a little bit like a pizza delivery boy, doesn't it?
Yeah, the orange. Yeah, the orange. The orange
bit.
hat isn't. I wouldn't say Kohli's best look of the tournament so far, as Rashid bowls to him, and he's just defended this one out into the offside. And again, Morgan does the fielding, and there's no run. Yeah, it's a good job he doesn't have it orange and blue. Then it really would be delivery style. If the orange had been in the middle where the India crest is, whereas that bit is blue. As Rashid bowls, that was a little shorter. Kohli's played this away on the leg side, and they'll jog through for a comfortable single.
Mark Zips keeping an eye on Reddit for us. The top post is the Love India English India match thread. Comments remind me of 90s England cricket fans, but they're all from Indians. Have not seen a doomed yet, and no mention of them going Burko at the end.
Oh, could you? If you're on Reddit, can you share our audio feed? You can do that.
That would be you can
into that Reddit feed.
That would be ideal.
And put our Twitter handle there. That'd be genius.
Rashid bowls, last ball of his first over. It's a little short again, and Rohit's worked this one down the ground. And they will get one more, so 3 from Rashid's first over. He's not really getting much pace on the ball. I don't know if that's a tactic or not. India 74 for 1. We've had 19 overs.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because every time a new bowler came on when India were bowling, pretty much apart from Bumrah and Shami at the beginning, England immediately went after them and got big runs off their first couple of overs. Kuldeep when he came on, same with Chahal, Pandya. All the change bowlers got, put under serious pressure straight away. England have got away with that.
We're just seeing the India lineup on our screen at the moment. Pant, Jadhav, Dhoni, Pandya next 4 in. You do feel if England can break this partnership reasonably soon, they can really get stuck into this Indian middle order.
Put some serious pressure on.
And at which point the run rate could be out of control if it's not already. We're going to get a double change because Ben Stokes is going to come into the attack from the pavilion end. He's had the knack of taking some important wickets in this tournament so far.
It does. That means we're using a 6th bowler as well, doesn't it? Which means everyone else gets a bit of fun.
I got up in Stokes and he called me a oh, if I'd only seen.
Rather orthodox field for Stokes as he runs in and bowls to Rohit, defends. They're going to go for a quick single, and they will make it comfortably.
Just read this tweet from Finchams.
Go on, Karen.
Sorry.
You can go over.
Assuming Shamrock Kohli's still in, how far below half the total needed at the 30 overs mark do India need before England are safe? Oh, that's complicated.
You don't want to. I don't think India will want to leave themselves 10 and over for the last 20 overs of the innings.
No.
And I really rushed through that tweet just to read this, which made me laugh, from Jay Grover. I think if Murray Erasmus strode purposefully towards me, I would be paralysed between laughter and fear.
One of my favourite moments of the tournament involved Murray Erasmus. Stokes runs in, bowls to Kohli, who hits this one down the ground. That's a nice looking shot, well fielded again by Mark Wood. Bar that drop catch from Root, I think England have been excellent in the field so far.
Certainly
And actually,
runs.
I think bar that Pakistan game, England have been pretty good in the field for most of their games so far. 76 for 1 the score. Now, I don't know if you remember on that tweet from Jay there, when Jason Roy got his ton against Bangladesh, he collided with the umpire on reaching his ton. And so he was getting ready to celebrate, and he ran straight into, I think it was Joel Wilson. You imagine if that was Murray, he'd have just bounced off him. Stokes bowls, Rowett just knocks this one down the ground, and they'll get no run that time.
My favourite moment was Ian Gould trying to shut up the cricketarist at Old Trafford in the West Indies-New Zealand game, who's sort of gesticulating wildly, trying to get him to shut up.
Yeah, we've had one verse of Layla, that's quite enough for now. Yeah, they were
smoke on water.
They were a good idea, I think, for one to have them for a 48. That would work brilliantly on T20 finals day, but
Definitely.
for a 48 game tournament, it's got a bit wearing now. Stokes bowls right, moves across his stumps. He's hit this in the air. I think he's going to get away with it. Vince, it falls between Vince and Wokes at a sort of deep point. But Rohit, I think, is looking to get on with things now.
I think he is, and I think this is good for England, isn't it?
I think he's been sent with instructions from the dressing room. We're going to have a change at the end of this over. Ralph has re-entered.
It's hot, yes.
It is warm. It is warm. It was warmer in it yesterday, I can assure you that. Crikey. But at least we had an excellent game of cricket to keep us entertained. Stokes looking particularly disappointed. It's heading towards nines.
Yeah, it is
that
heading
run rate.
towards nines.
Here's Stokes, bowls to Rowett. Kohli, flicked away through the leg side. That's a lovely shot. There's a chase on here for Wood. It's going to go to the boundary where the cricket back guitarist is waiting. Just as we're talking about it. And Kohli has sneaked up to 48, despite the fact it feels like he's played and missed an awful lot in this innings.
Yeah.
That might be an ominous sign for England. He's going to have to get a big one now,
He's going to have to get
for
a very
India
big
to win
one.
this game.
You know, I don't think from here, maybe 100 won't be enough.
No, very much so. Seeing shots of the fan zone in Birmingham, which is down on Victoria Square, which is remarkably, they've managed to take all the building work away for this weekend, which is unbelievable if anybody's been to Birmingham recently. Here's Stokes, bowls to Kohli, driven through the offside. That's a lovely looking shot. Wokes will come round and do the fielding, a diving stop in front of the West Stand. Kohli has got back for two, and that will end my stint with Virat Kohli's half century, coming up in 59 balls after 20 overs. India are 83 for 1. I can see Grubby, I can see Ralph. It's time for a change.
Oh, I can see Knackle. 3-man change. Well, players 50 jingle to get them through.
50 runs, give 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, give 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Welcome back. Well, we were discussing next door when India might tee off, and it looks like in that last over that Kohli's decided enough is enough. Something needs to change. What do you make of it, Grubby?
That was a genius shot. The ball, the shot he played off the penultimate ball of that previous over, where he took a ball from outside off stump and just sort of flicked it wristily, effortlessly through wide mid on for 4. It's an extraordinary shot. It made it look so easy, as he often does.
5 50s in a row now for Virat Kohli. This one on 59 balls.
Rashid continues. This one's been lofted over cover. Has it gone out to the man out there? No, and it's just drifting down to the point boundary for another one of these.
It didn't go to the man out there because there was no man out there.
Yeah, it's full and floaty, and Rohit Sharma just teed it up. A lot of bat on that. And yes, she continues. Better ball now on a length on middle and off. Pushed out into the covers. I think Owen Morgan comes in the fields and there's no run. India 87 for 1. We're in the 21st over, so the run rate has crept up to about, is it 8? Maybe
8.5, something like that. The T-Boy's with us, by the way. Not sure when I'm around this summer, but hopefully later for the tests. Good hope.
And the next ball is on leg stump and comes off the pad and Butler behind the stumps fields, no run.
Nice and slow from Adil Rashid. It's good that he's got the confidence to do that.
Yeah. It's not so far been a day for wrist spinners, is it? I think Chahal and Kuldeep went for plenty between them.
Rashid in again, and this one is full on off stump, and it's caressed down to Johnny Bairstow, who's 10 yards off the rope down at long off, and the single is taken.
Josh Robinson's having a chat with Ravi about something, saying you're not wanting to be favouring one set of entitled establishment tosses over another. The Barmy Army are the Faragists.
Rashid in again now, possible googly, or was that out the front of the hand? But it's gone down to Bairstow again, coming in off the long off boundary, and they've taken another single. Rohit Sharma has 38, and Kohli, of course, has got 51. He's played very well, I think.
Yeah.
He's called for the cap now. Rohit Sharma's still under the helmet, and this one is a square cut. The man diving there at point can't stop it, and it's another boundary.
The substitute James Vince diving over the top of the ball at backward point. Not been a, well, possibly a career-ending tournament for him, which is weird given that he's basically, oh, actually it was past him, never mind.
But still, the rest of what you said is true. Jay Grover is there, as you know, saying, I've just learned Rashid is crazed by Nando's. I hope Moeen has spiked his scran. Why would he do that? And Jeff Perkins is with us, saying, India taking their boring play early instead of in the middle of the innings, as is the custom. Josh Robinson saying, listener experience or no, Kiwi Callie is failing her swear testing. Do I have to make her say Scunthorpe or Sofa King Awesome? Do you see what he's done there? Well, it's me now, Josh, so as you know, my threshold is far lower. Ravi says, ooh, okay, I'm a disestablishmentarian when it comes to county cricket structure on cast grounds. I think we're going to leave that conversation now. I'm not going to read out all those because it's going to get dull for everyone else.
Stokes
not least me.
continues now to Rohit, who just covers up and pushes out to the offside. They take a scampered single as Morgan zooms into the ball, can't field cleanly. Single taken.
There is a little bit more urgency from India now after some good opening bowling from Wokes and Archer in particular. Wokes not conceding a run until his 20th delivery.
Run rate just a shade under 8.5 now.
55 for none of the overs 11 to 20, a little bit more urgent.
Here's exotic. Ricky's Bickies listening in from a mountaintop in Koh Phangan. Loving it. Cheers, lads and lasses.
Stokes in again now. There's no slips in place, and as Rohit Sharma just covers up on the back foot. Stokes fields off his own bowling, no run.
I was in Koh Phangan New Year's Eve 2001 through to 2002. Incredibly.
Where is Koh Phangan?
It's one of the islands off Thailand. Linux Lear says, Reddit is aware of you. Please don't encourage people to push it there. There will be the worst scum humanity has to offer.
This is regrettably probably true.
Rohit Sharma, squat figure. Quite well padded really by modern batsman standards. As this one is full and clipped. Full toss in fact from Stokes. They think about taking the one to mid wicket, but fielded well and returned to Butler, no run.
Yes, there's a little bit of fleshiness around the tummy.
He's comfortably built.
The trencherman, perhaps.
Johnny Walker tells us the run rate required by India is now 8.54838, and it goes on for about 25 characters per over. Thank you for that accuracy, Johnny Walker, and hopefully you're enjoying a glass of your own product.
8.56 after this good start to Stokes' second over.
Stokes in again now. This is full outside off stump. Another attempted Yorker, but unfortunately it's a little bit too full and floaty.
Super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, super shatta, rocka, rocka, super shatta.
Delicious stroke by Rohit Sharma, just sort of leant on it and caressed it away through the covers.
Dreamy, wasn't it? Oh,
seen some what fine stroke play we've seen today.
So is this going to be an England nightmare, or are all their dreams going to come true today? India 98 for 1. We're in the 22nd over. Stokes in again. Better ball on off stump on a length, and they just turn it into the leg side. That's right. He moves to 47. Kohli, of course, got that 50. He's 52 not out off 61 balls, and that's the end of the over, I think.
More fun facts from Moeen's autobiography, says Jay, about from Rashid, and his best mate in the England team was Stokes, and his absence messed up the team dynamic, apparently. James Moffat says, as an England supporter living in Australia and currently in New York, absolutely loving the commentary while walking around Times Square. Well, have a nice day, James.
So there's one more ball of Stokes' over. Coley's on strike now. This is a good ball on a length and off stump, but Coley just rolls it off the front knee roll to mid-wicket. Fielded now. They've taken the single. That's the end of the over. The India 100 is up. They're 100 for 1 off 22.
Decent over from India, 7 off it with that boundary from Rohit Sharma.
And just ticking along fairly comfortably at the moment, India, aren't they? It'll be ominous for England, the two best batsmen in the world, or as Renee Keita puts it, as long as the fellow with 3 double centuries is in, England remain thoroughly doomed. Roger Melly says, is Kohli going to change his hat every fucking over?
Probably.
I'd like to see that. I liked Callie's comment that it makes him look a bit like a pizza delivery boy. That made us all laugh next door. Stephen G. Brady says, why would Lanks attempt to throw out 75-year-old seller of Not the Spin at Sedbergh today? It's a fanzine which has a readership of thousands. Blimey, heavy-handed or what? So sad.
That's our friend's Not the Spin, which is co-run by our friend Ian Lomax, who's had his issues with the people who run Lancashire County Cricket Club.
He has. Abdullah is with us on Twitter saying, listening is fun and watching you is funny. I'll take that as a compliment, although it probably isn't.
Adil Rashid, he's in his third over now. Kohli on strike. He's in his cap again. He has changed his hat, and he flays this down to wide log on. Stokes fields. He's got a good on him to Butler, and they've taken the 1.
I don't know if it's just on our monitor, but there's some interesting chiaroscuro going on the Facebook Live feed. Ralph is practically sort of bathed in saintly light in the middle, while Grubby and I are hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, it's a Renaissance art piece. Where you are the chosen one, and we are mere mortals.
Rashid now. This one is right
wow!
Leg side, and nearly bowled him around his legs. No one really knows what the hell's going on. Least of all me, really. But
least of
no
all
run.
Rohit Sharma nearly arched that onto his own stumps.
It could have been a wide if he had nothing to do with it, but he chose to play it. Came off his arm, went over Butler's shoulder. Butler didn't know where it had gone.
Okay, no, the ball was all gone.
Rashid in again now. This one's a slower ball on leg stump, and Sharma just rolls the wrists of it back with square on the leg side. Single taken to Archer coming in now.
Just going to say hello to a few of our Crick Tracker watchers. Rajendra Nandwana, who thinks India are definitely going to win. Indrajit Nishad, Narendra Bist, and Amir Ilahi Bucks.
Welcome all.
Hello to everyone out there.
Please share the link with your friends.
Rashid now in again. This one is outside off stump, a poorer ball, but he's rather got away with it. There's a attempted cut there, but it can only get far as the man cover. Taking the 1. Rohit Sharma's 48, Kohli 55, 103 for 1.
Ricky's Bickies has sent us a photo of what appears to be an infinity pool in Koh Phangan. It looks
beautiful,
annoyingly good.
Rashid now in again. I think there's a googly. Nakul agrees with me. I feel validated as our leg spin expert, and there's no run.
Yeah, playing it well though, stretching forward. I like Rashid's work. I like that he's summed up that doing a little bit in the air and trying to beat batsmen in the flight on this pitch is the way to go.
2 or 3 stuttering steps. He's in now. This one is lofted over the infield through deep cover. Boom.
Wrong jingle.
Smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that till you get sore. Smack that, oh.
And that is Rohit Sharma's 52 of 65 balls, his 4th 50-plus score of the tournament.
50 runs, your 50 runs. Well done, well done, well done, well done. 50 runs, your 50 runs. The job is only just begun.
Dave Wood says Wokes and Archer sounds like a 1930s music hall act. It does rather, doesn't it? Hello, Mr. Wokes. Hello, Mr. Archer. How are you today? I'm right browned off. Right browned off, you say? Yeah, that sort of thing. I can see that. Ravi and Josh are still having a discussion about ideologies and things, so I'll leave them to it.
Rohit Sharma, 52 not out. He's played very well today. He's such a clean striker of a cricket ball. When he connects, he really connects. Stokes continues. This one is ill-directed on middle stump, and it's been clipped very nicely by Kohli, I think it was, into the leg side. They've taken the 1.
It was with a full in-swinger that Ben Stokes dismissed Virat Kohli on that magnificent last innings at Edgbaston in the Test match last year. Virat Kohli missing a rare straight one. 100 partnership up between these two now. 100 off 124 balls between the number 1 and number 2 ranked ODI batsmen in the world.
Rather feels like India have got this under control at the moment. When do England get a little bit nervous? Stokes continues. This just back of a length outside off stump, and it's bunted down to third man with the full face of the blade. Rashid runs round and keeps them to 2, and the score moves to 110 for 1.
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. They're just making it look ever so easy, these two.
Yeah.
Aren't they? And it's almost like they can hit the ball wherever they like, and it's almost as if each ball, the default option is the ball is racing to the boundary, and it either goes to the boundary or it's a desperate dive to save it.
But the run rate remains a shade over 8.5, so although they have given it a bit more of the hurry up in the last few overs, they're still behind on the run rate, as this one is clipped in the leg side by Rohit Sharma, and they've taken the single again.
But this is what we've seen a few teams get themselves into a hole chasing through being far too cautious, and rather than going at, India are going at about 5-ish and over in recent times, rather than going at 3 and over, which means you end up having to chase do something ludicrous in the last few. India are finding it that little bit easier to rotate the strike on what is a pretty good pitch, even if it does have a little bit of two-pacedness.
Jay Grover wants to point people towards the threads involving Pakistan and Afghanistan if you don't want nationalistic, chauvinistic comments.
Stokes right arm over the wicket. This is a good bumper, no wide. Kohli thought about playing a hook, but pulled out at the last moment and let it go through to Butler behind the sticks.
And Woy Pom rather ridiculously suggests that India might throw this to try to stop Pakistan qualifying. Contentious?
Absolutely
not going to happen. Not going to happen, Woy. Cousin Rossiter. I wonder if that's Leonard. Oh no, he's dead. Great. I totally fell asleep for the whole F1, but you've been on all the time. So go, you guys. I'm back listening after a 2-hour nap. Yeah, you still don't know what the result is in the F1, by the way.
Stokes in off about a dozen paces. This one clipped into the leg side again by Kohli. That's his default shot, just taking the single. He moves to 57.
Yep, 5 runs off the first, 5 balls of the over?
Messi Jez was having a full Scottish breakfast earlier, wasn't he?
I think a small Scottish breakfast.
Or a small. Well, Steve Kellett has replied saying, for the full Scottish, you put that lot between 2 pizzas, dip the lot in batter and deep fry it. Inevitably.
And wash it down with a barrel of iron brew.
So 1 ball left in Stokes' third over. He's gone for 21. He's taking a little bit of tap. He's in now, bustling in up to the wicket. It's a good ball, well directed and off stump, and Rohit covers up, full face of the blade. That's the end of the 24th over. India 112 for 1.
Do you know haggis is illegal in the USA?
Concerns over BSE?
I don't know, but it's illegal in the USA.
Yes, that's right. They have to smuggle it in from Canada.
Yeah. Smouty is there on Twitter saying, long drive south with your commentary, making it a lot easier. I hope India take this down to the wire, but England win. Yeah. Mark Zip is there as well. Hello Zippo, hope you're well. My dodgy internet TV feed is a little fuzzy, he says. It looks as though Adil Rashid hasn't taken the price tag off his collar. Is this like Stoinis in his helmet yesterday? Did Stoinis leave the tag in? There was his mum running on or something with a pair of scissors.
Does he have his name sort of stitched on one of those labels into the back of his shorts?
Oh, it's like the tramp with L&R on his respective boots.
Rashid continues 0 for 20 off 3. First ball of his new over is tossed up outside off stump, and it gives Kohli enough room to free his arms and laces something through the covers.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There didn't appear to be a gap.
No, but he found it, didn't he? And it's one of those cover drives that's played with a lot of bottom hand and yet all along the ground. Josh Butler has started to do this in recent years and does it very well, but no one does it better than Kohli.
Kohli in his cap now. This is a shorter ball from Rashid. And Kohli sees it, reads it, and clips it down to Wokes at deep mid-wicket. Take 1? Did they take 2?
Just 1. He's annoyed he didn't get 4 from it. It was a little bit short from Rashid. The boundary off the first ball of the over does take the pressure off India a little bit.
T-Boy's questioning whether we need to be bowling Rashid at all. Seamers seem to be doing better. Discuss.
I think you've got to bowl him. He's your leading wicket taker in the last 4 years.
Have we got any more seam options? Who else can bowl?
Well, we've got
Dob. We need some Dob. Where's the Dobber?
I don't think there's a Dob. Root can bowl his all sorts front of the hand spinny stuff.
Does he do a possible Bob Willis impression of 30 paces? And Rashid tossing the ball between his hands now. He's at the top of his short mark. He's up to the wicket. Right arm over. This one's just back of a length and just pushed down to the man at deep log on, coming in 10 yards off the boundary. And they're taking the one.
Well, we've got 5 seamers in the haven't we, including Stokes. So we could fiddle. England could fiddle the 10 overs between, say, Stokes and Rashid.
Rashid continues now. This is a better ball on off stump on a length, but Kohli just rocks back, places it out to deep cover. They've taken another single.
Martin White says, "What is clean hitting anyway? I don't think I've ever seen a cricket ball hit dirtily. Those rumours were never proven."
India 119 for 1. Rohit Sharma on strike now. This is
beautiful,
absolute beauty. A perfect leg break pitched an off stump on a length, and I think Rohit tried to open the face a little bit to it. It probably saved him in the end.
Interesting, that was almost a top spinner from Rashid. The seam was basically pointed slightly to the right of the keeper's gloves.
He's in again now. This one is outside off stump and once again gives the batsman enough room to cut it. Just backward of square on the offside, one taken, and that's the end of the over.
What that meant was there was much more presentation of the seam, so it really gripped and turned.
Rashid has taken none for 28 off 4.
That's one of the better overs I've seen go for 8.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It doesn't appear that Kohli and Rohit are taking many, if any, risks at all. So that's got to be worrying for England, because at some point they're going to press the button. Ian Walker says, "Surely the definition of a result in F1 is getting a 2-hour nap." I like that one. Anna Forsyth says, "Trying not to fall back to sleep, but England aren't making it easy. # do something.
Stay awake."
And Mark Zip says, "Ignorance of Formula 1 result is welcome. I've taped it for later. I've got to go to a graduation party soon." Ooh, right. Dressing up for that, Zippo? You getting a tux on or something?
Make sure that it actually is a fancy dress party.
Yeah, that's right. We're all coming as chickens.
It's that Oldie Fools and Horses episode.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the Batman and Robin one, isn't it? Yeah.
It ends up being a wake.
Yeah. And Trigger's there in his funeral gear, saying, "Yeah, I feel like a right mug." He goes, "Yeah, but you know, we've come as this. We thought it was a fancy dress party," and he just goes, "So did I." Josh Robinson says, "For a true full Scottish, shouldn't the Iron Brew be mixed with Bells or replaced with Buckfast, which is actually from Devon?"
Stokes continues, filthy short ball, and has been treated with the contempt it deserves by Rohit Sharma. And it's gone. And it's a very good pull shot. He rolled the wrists on it too, and it went down to the square leg boundary. You can't slow, loopy, filthy piece of bowling from Stokes there.
You can't bowl short to Rohit Sharma at the best of times, and certainly not wanting to see he's on 50 odd.
And certainly not one that's careening down the leg side anyway, that he just has to help on his way. A poor ball, I think we've all agreed.
Stokes, England, you feel badly need a wicket now, and this one is full outside off stump, and it's flayed to the square boundary on the offside.
The jingle machine is on strike.
That was absolutely hammered.
4. Good goal.
And that went like a tracer bullet.
Twat. And another.
Drew Ramsey says haggis should be illegal everywhere and throw in the bagpipes while they're at it. Steve Kellett says, "I've reconciled myself to the inevitability of England's defeat, mostly due to the fact I no longer work for an Indian company and therefore the amount of crap I'll get at work is reduced. I still have to face my band's new Indian lead singer though." Well, gird your loins, mate. There's a long way to go yet.
Stokes up to the wicket now, and this one is full, an attempted Yorker, and once again it's given the batsman enough room to push it to that deep square point boundary for yet another 4.
3, that's the magic number.
No. Our English head's beginning to go down. I think my head is going down. Has been for some time.
And Rohit Sharma now up to 69 off 74.
Yes. It's all too easy for India at the moment. Clear blue skies in Birmingham. It's been a beautiful day out there. Perfect day for cricket and a perfect day for batting, one thinks. Morgan has no answers. Just have a few little technical difficulties here with the jingle machine, so we're without jingles for a moment or two. Stokes in again now. Better ball. And nearly bunted to mid-off by Rohit Sharma. Archer just 5 yards short of the catch. You think it was a catch. Archer's not sure himself.
It was a long way short of him in any case.
Yeah. Alex Ferguson says, "I wonder who feels like a bigger twat. Dhoni for not using DRS to get Roy, or Joe Root for dropping Rohit?" I'd say Root at the moment.
And it it was in the air. It was about 10 yards short, wasn't it? But good piece of bowling by Stokes. Look, he's doing a lot of cross-seam balls. Unfortunately, half of them are disappearing for fours. Anyway, good ball on a length and off stump. Who'd have thought it? That's the way to bowl, and Rohit Sharma just covers that, pushes it out to mid-off, and there's no run.
The cross-seam thing works pretty well if you're sort of back of a length, but as Plunkett was bowling very well earlier, but wide half volleys doesn't really matter which way the seam's pointing.
Ralph, I'm going to ask you to do a little précis, a recap for cousin Rossiter at the end of this over, because he's been on that 2-hour sleep, and we were 200. England were 200 something for 2 last. He knew.
Rohit Sharma on strike now, and just glides the next ball from Stokes off a full face down to, I think, Adil Rashid grazing down there at third man. They've taken the single at the end of the 26th over. India 133 for 1. So what happened in the last 2 hours? England rather stalled, didn't they? That was probably the biggest story of their innings.
Yeah, a bit of a stall between 30 and 40, wasn't there?
And then Butler teed off. He got 20 off 8. Remember that much?
Yes, indeed.
Stokes batted handsomely. It was another fantastic innings from Ben Stokes.
Yeah, 78 he got.
And then in reply, India were confronted with some rather good bowling from Chris Wokes. He took the 1 wicket to fall. That was the caught and bowled.
Yeah, fantastic caught and bowled, diving against his own momentum in his follow through to dismiss KL Rahul for a 9-ball duck. But Kohli and Rohit are sort of moving smoothly through the gears now.
And earlier on, cousin Rossiter, Chris Wokes bowled 3 maidens on the trot.
Oh, and Rohit was dropped.
At second slip by Joe Root.
Rashid continues now. This one is full bunger, tossed up on middle, and it's been swept handsomely forward of square by Rohit Sharma. Yet another boundary.
Jingle Machine is restarting at the worst possible time.
And he moves to 74. He's got the hurry-ups on, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's another 4. So Evil Scooter says, yeah, Stoinis was batting in a helmet that still had stickers on it from whoever made them. Oops. Isn't that normal?
Rashid in again now in the bright sunshine. The shadows are lengthening now. And this one is just a full face, a straight bat pushed down to long on. The man comes into field and they've got the single.
Jay Grover just clarifying he was referring specifically to the Reddit cricket threads, I think, when he was saying how disgusting it was.
I think Rashid has gone for 5. Rohit Sharma's hit 5 fours in the last 10 balls. The next ball to Kohli in his cap is pushed out into the covers. They've taken the 1. Kohli 64. He's played very well.
Yeah, Rohit was bubbling along at 4 and over. He's now almost at a run a ball.
Yeah.
You know his powers of acceleration.
Adil Rashid is in, and this one is a filthy wide ball. Well wide of off stump. Rohit Sharma thought of having something to do with it, but left it well alone, rewarded with the wide. Rashid is in again now. Better ball on a length and off stump, push back to the bowler, no run. And Rashid has gone for 35. He's only in his 5th over. And all the spinners today have taken a little bit of tap. Short boundaries on the legs. Well, not the legs. One of the boundaries is noticeably shorter than the other, and perhaps that's where most of the damage is being done. Another good ball on a length on middle and off. And once again, the bowler fields off his own bowling.
It's very noticeable with Johnny Bairstow. He was either slog sweeping or cutting, basically out to that boundary, whichever end the bowling was from.
Johnny Walker writes another long number to us, 8.69, etc.
She did again now. This one is tossed up outside off stump, and they can't get it past, I think, Joe Root fielding there at backward point. And that's the end of the over. Adil Rashid, he's taken 0 for 35 off 5. India 140 for 1 off 27.
EDM Larkin, that recap that we gave you previously was also for you, because you asked for one. Happily, the last 2 hours was also what you wanted recapping on, so hopefully you're apprised and up to date now. Hendo's with us. What is this? See how many limp half volleys you can hit for 4 time. England completely forgetting the basics of the game. That drop is going to cost big time. Bye-bye World Cup hopes. Don't say I didn't tell you this morning. So everything well there, Hendo? Are you enjoying your spell at work?
I've always considered myself a cricket fan first in general, certainly in the last few years since I've been doing more and more of this, but I almost want England to win just so Hendo can have his pessimism flung back in his face.
I'm sure he'd be delighted to have his pessimism flung back at his face for the win.
Now we have a change bowler.
Archer.
Morgan has run.
We're still, yeah. It's Archer. will tell you. Jas is with us. Is India trying to lose with a better run rate? I think that's the question.
No, they're trying to chase this down.
Yes,
I think.
trying to win the game. It's quite simple.
Virat Kohli's ODI average is now just above 60.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Strike rate of 93, 11,000 ODI runs.
The fastest to that milestone.
He's under his helmet now as Jofra Archer turns the top of his mark. He bustles in. This lovely
good slower
silky
ball.
action. He doesn't really pick up his... you watch Jofra Archer running up, and he doesn't really pick up his knees. He sort of glides across the turf. The feet barely look as if they're lifted off the turf. I'm trying to think of the other great West Indian fast bowlers of the past.
Holding.
What do you mean the other West Indian bowlers? what could that possibly mean?
Well, Mark Wood is almost a little bit Patrick Patterson with that big leg.
Yeah, they're very different in their styles.
Archer doesn't look like he's coming off a full gallop, and the next ball was a good one. On off stump, just back of a length, and it's guided down to the man fielding at point. I think it was Owen Morgan.
Well, Archer glides, Mark Wood gallops.
That's right. Or trots or canters, depending on how fast.
Or refuses.
Drew, a lovely message from Drew Harper. Thank you for existing, Guerrilla Cricket. That's Drew from Nashville, Tennessee.
That deserves a retweet.
And then goes, yeehaw!
That deserves a retweet.
Oh, yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Kohli under his lid, and this is an ill-directed ball on the leg side from Archer, and it's just clipped down to Liam Plunkett, who moves well to keep them to the single down there at long leg.
It's another slow ball from Archer. I wonder if he's summed up the conditions and thought that might be the way to go. As we thought a little bit at the Greeks break. There was Hardik Pandya got some good reward from his cutters.
So in the 28th over, India 141 for 1. So
currently seeing on screen Owen Morking being interviewed in a darkened room.
About coping mechanisms. How are we coping without jingle machine?
It's coming back.
Struggling. Archer's in again now. Good ball on off stump. And is Archer really okay? Is he fit enough? He's down to 75 of that. Was that a deliberate slower ball?
Well,
or is he really holding it back? He doesn't look himself to me.
He does. Is it like a minor intercostal or side strain that he's got coming into? Because there was a suggestion he may not even play this game. Obviously past fit, but perhaps he's just feeling that.
His first spell was pretty quick. He was bowling at 96 miles an hour at one point.
Kohli, he's got his helmet back on again. He has been flicking between the helmet and his cap, and it's a short ball from Archer, a quicker ball. Dug in, and Kohli does well to fend it down to third man. Another single taken. Better over this from Archer, and that was up to 92 miles per hour, so he's clearly fine.
Yeah, and Virat Kohli middles a leave for 1. Let's jingle up the England bowler.
Archer, not only handsome, but also
a secret agent. That's what I am.
Fred Boycott reckons that North Korea would be proud of Lanks for throwing out those fanzine sellers.
Another slower ball from Archer, I think. His pace is deceptive. It's sort of slippery pace. He doesn't necessarily look very quick, and it's caressed out into the covers by Rohit Sharma. Or was it Kohli?
Rohit.
Kohli. Oh, Rohit, sorry. And that's the end of the over. Archer 0 for 24 off 6.
Josh Robinson says the best day for heads to go down, you need to see what he's done here, is the feast day of St George Michael of the Beverley Tea Room, patron saint of parks at night. There you go, Josh. And you thought I wouldn't read that.
Tweet of the day.
Tilakaratli Dilettante, otherwise known as Arthurshire, is with us, and he is replying to Linux Lear and Ravi, saying, "Did there my eyes assail?" And the voice of the commentator said, "No quick singles for Gale." There we are.
Very poetic. We do have a change of bowling at the other end. It is England's particularly sexy blacksmith.
Plinkett, Plunkett, Plunkett.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
He is a lovely big boy for his mum.
He's up to it now.
Dear.
Absolute filth. Wide of off stump, dragged down. He's lost his action completely.
Wide.
Gabriel Oak reduced to a sapling. Johnny Walker says, did anyone else spot the Men with Ven flag at Glastonbury yesterday?
Yes, this was spotted, and it got a little bit of love on our GC internal communication channel.
Mate, you're bowling filth, mate, disgusting. Mate, you're bowling filth.
Well, it starts again. This is a better ball from Plunkett, just short of a length outside off stump, and it's been lofted over the infield. Johnny Bairstow comes in from the cover boundary to field and keeps him to the single.
Arthur just suggests that India are prohibitive favourites as long as Rowett and Kohli are there. Yep, couldn't disagree with that. Dave Wood says Hender would much prefer to have a pastry thrown into his face. I'm sure that's also true. And Roger Melly says
pie, perhaps.
Roger Melly says the run rate, still delicious. Roger Melly says run rate is holding firm at 8.5.
Plunkett in again now. This one. Oh, he's dropped! No, he's been taken! Oh my word! For a moment there, it looked like the fielder at point had dropped the catch, and he's on his knees, and the ball was sort of somewhere in the melee. But Kohli is gone. Oh, he flapped at a wide ball outside off stump. It was a dicey sort of smear through point, and who's the fielder?
Jimmy
there?
Vince.
Oh, James Vince. You've
Welcome to the World Cup.
On your bike, mate.
Yet another World Cup 50 for Virat Kohli, but still no ton.
So Roger Melly, I'd only read half his tweet. He said run rate is holding firm at 8.5. Need a wicket. Well, there you go. It's been granted to you. No need for the sandpaper that you were calling for. By the way, Comrade Bernsky says, sorry chaps, sure the last couple of overs were very interesting, but I was busy trying to shoo a giant fucking tarantula out of the patio. Good Lord, where are you, comrade? Let us know. And Linux Lear says that filth jingle could only be improved by a Michael Atherton imitator doing the vocals. I can hear that now, Lear. That's lovely.
Oh, how badly did England need that wicket? Now
5 50s in a row in the 2019 World Cup. None of them converted to 100 from Virat Kohli. It's been a little while for him. And India do play the wild card. It is the man who can smash the ball to all parts.
Gets a brotherly arm round the shoulder from Rowett there. I love Rishabh. I just love his little cheeky cherubic face. Just want to chuck his cheek like that and go, ooh, don't you? I'm sure he'd love it if I did that.
And here we are. We're bricking ourselves about his possible carnage-inducing stroke play. And he only averages 23 in ODIs. So
yeah, he's only played a few games, mostly coming in the middle overs when middle order with little to do, striking at 131 per 100 balls.
I mean, I thought it was an extraordinary omission from the squad initially. Obviously, he's come in since Shikhar Dhawan's been forced to withdraw with his injury, and he'd have felt pretty aggrieved. I'd have thought he's had a stellar couple of years in lots of competitions, including the IPL, and that incredible innings, incredible knock he played alongside KL Rahul at the Oval on the last day of the Test match.
Yeah, and a Test 100 in Australia.
Yeah,
on that tour that India won.
Liam Plunkett just waits to bowl to him. He's left-hander, short of stature. He's up to the wicket now, and he covers up to his first ball. Thinks about taking a scampered single to short cover. Oh, and was nearly run out first ball.
Butler did very well actually diving to back that up as the throw came in from point.
So England just need to keep it tight. Just no easy runs now. Just tight 5 overs can make all the difference.
I was going to shout next door for a stolen beer, but I realised we're going to be off air in a minute. I might have to have one then to calm the nerves.
Plunkett just hesitates at the top of his mark. He's starting again now. Up he comes now, trotting up to the crease. A good ball. There's a strangled leg before
pitched
shout.
Outside leg.
The umpire's not interested. Knuckle thinks it pitched outside leg. I suspect he's right. Did they take the leg by? No, he was told to go back by his partner Rohit Sharma. This is better from England. DRS timer is up. Doesn't look like anyone's interested in taking that any further.
Possibly doing a bit too much as well. It might just have pitched in line. It was swinging prodigiously.
Just going to watch a replay.
Does it
now.
pitch outside?
I don't think
I think that pitch is just on and maybe a bit high as well. I don't know. Just didn't quite look right.
It's a low percentage review.
Yeah, indeed. Dave Wood says Vince desperate for that OBE.
2 balls left in this over. Plunkett up to the wicket now to the right-handed Rohit Sharma. This is just back of a length, and he covers up. Pant is desperate for a single. It's another attempt. Oh my crikey days! That was a hard throw to Morgan. Morgan's hand is smarting. Oh god, that would hurt. Oh, and Pants are on fire, aren't they? He's so desperate for runs. He's running for everything. Complete cricketing.
That was a wildly unnecessary throw from Stokes.
Yeah. And the surprise in that is what?
Aim at the stumps, you loon.
So only 1 ball left in this action-packed over. This is livening things up a bit, isn't it?
pitched it, that
Yeah,
last
it's a
WW
bit too high.
pitched in line and going over the
Missing,
top.
yeah. Abercrombie Acting is with us. Greetings from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Australia to win. Daniel. Thanks, Daniel. You're first-time listener, first-time tweeter. All views welcome, but not that one.
Plunkett's in again. This one is just short of a length and off stump, and Rohit Sharma just opens the face, runs it down to third man where it's fielded. They're taking the single. That's the end of the 29th over, and India are now 148 for 2. They've lost that second wicket.
Comrade Bernsky, that's he of the alarming tarantula incident recently, tells us he's in Akumal in Mexico. Sounds rather lovely, apart from the tarantulas, obviously. And Mike Mihal Wood says, good job, Plunkett, lulling Kohli into a false sense of security by throwing down some absolute nonsense. The shop shuts in 10 minutes, so I'm away from my celebratory ice cream while I still have time. That's one for our colleague Ian Pearce, the ice cream man, with his ice cream bukkake episode in Ireland. Tilakaratni Dilettante. Oh shit, fuck, pants playing. Well, that's that then. When do the Ashes start? I want to get my disappointment in early. No need for disappointment, Arthurshire. Just stay where you are, be royally entertained, and crack open something delicious.
Jofra Archer continues. Good ball first up to Rohit Sharma, who covers up on the back foot, and there's no run.
Language continues to confuse me. FYI, filth in baseball parlance is good, says Neymar Butlins. He's throwing absolute filth. That is a pitch that few can hit.
That's it. That's a
sick
contrast, isn't it?
TV umpire says Pant tends to run out to get run out more often than not. England must be very alert in the field.
Archer again now. A lovely line of length. Oh, old-fashioned cricket and a lovely forward press from Rohit Sharma. There's no run.
Jay Serra is advocating getting rid of Morgan. Jesus Christ, he's such a liability. Can't bat, can't field.
What?
Short memory, some people, right? You do realise, Jay, that he had that record-breaking innings.
That was a dubious point, made with hyperbolic conviction.
Another good ball from Jofra Archer. He's bang on the money in this spell, and Rohit Sharma can't do anything with it.
By Jay! Just to finish that previous jingle. But, as I say, all opinions welcomed here except the ones we don't agree with. Who else have we got on Crit Tracker? Afrin Hridoy, Tayeb Ullah Salim, Rohit make 100 you predicted a few minutes ago. That could still happen, of course. He's still there. Kohli recently departed, though. And a good game, an interesting chase in prospect.
Archer continues. Suspicion of a strangled LBW shout, but it's going down the leg side. So once again, no run.
Well, indeed, I agree with your sigh. It's getting rather.
Well, it's kind of the business end, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
5 overs are key.
So if Deco, if you're listening, we are approaching the rule, of course. Double it at 30 overs to get the approximate score.
Does that apply while chasing?
I don't know.
Archer in again now. Another good ball on a length, or just back off on off stump, and it's just run off the face down to third man, and they've got a single this time. Pants on strike.
Rather than pants on fire. It could at least give us a guide, Knuckle, I suppose, to where we sort of are in the game.
Certainly.
So,
we should be having a change after this ball.
Yeah. Do I hear the pitter-patter of tiny feet? Do I hear the thundering hooves of hope and expectation? Do I hear the fridge door opening and an illicit beer being smuggled out for me?
Required run rate is 9.37 and over. It's amazing how quickly it's climbed with just a few tight overs. Or 2 tight overs, really.
The left-hander Pants on strike to Archer. There's a slip in place now. A suspicion of away swing to Pant, but he pushes it out into the leg side. They would have got 1, but now it's 2 as a slight misfield.
3.
3, in fact. Oh, England.
Acres of space out there.
Soft cricket. That's the end of the 30th over. Are we going to have a little jingle, or are we going to have some tweetage? In the
we'll have a little plug for how you can support the show.
Alternative cricket commentary, bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/gorilla cricket.
Well, it's squeaky bum time, according to the session winning thingy. England won the first, it was a draw in the second, and India won the third. Just haven't got a wicket at the beginning. At the end of that, across his stumps goes Pant, works it into the leg side, a big chase down. They go through for an easy single. Stokes chase it like a madman. and gets it in.
I mean, they hit a few boundaries, but surely losing Corley does not mean you've won.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. And the rate, even with those, I mean, they had 3 or 4 overs where they kept getting fours in every over, and still the rate climbs to 9.33. I mean, you've really got to go some to keep up with it.
Yeah, I was pretty despondent when Rashid and Stokes had two pretty poor overs, but they recovered it well, to be fair.
Well, they have, and getting that wicket is important. You just get Rowett out, you think you kind of break the back of it, wouldn't you? Oh, for fuck's sake, bloody beer.
So I definitely, Rowett is, he's got the potential to score.
Well,
massive,
exactly.
Massive
he totally has. You've got to bowl very tight to him. I don't know if it's the kind of wicket where you can really... You've got to bowl straight, haven't you? Any width has gone, any width whatsoever.
All of or not anything short, he's absolutely dismissed as well.
You basically want to be rolling out a test match line, it seems. Pretty tight on the off stump.
Basically.
Let them try and work you into the leg side, but it genuinely goes for a single. That's gone past the man at back with third man. Short, but backward point, you'd say he was trying to get across to stop it. Third man is out, and there is no run. I mean, only 2 wickets. I mean, India will think with the wickets in the hutch that they've got a chance to play it as a T20 now. But even a T20 score of what? Nearly 180 in a T20.
You need 2 boundaries and over, don't you?
Yeah.
Really, which isn't going to happen all the time.
Not easy to get 180 in any T20 with only 8 wickets, let alone 10. That's played out into the offside by Rishabh Pant.
We have plenty of tweets to get through. Mark Jeffrey, greetings from Croatia. Keep the Roy batting, Vince fielding strategy. It's a winner.
Yep.
Jay Grover, things you'll never hear on any cricket show. Quote, a wildly unnecessary throw from Stokes. The ghost of Zoob, Kohli recently departed. Should I prepare a welcome party?
Well, possibly. Oh, horrible shot though. Pant, slower ball by Plunkett into the pitch, trying to pull it, and was nowhere near it. 77 miles an hour, it's through a shot way too early.
Plunkett's done that really well, hasn't he? The slower balls have deceived.
He always does it though, doesn't he?
So well, yeah.
That's why he's so effective.
So, I mean, to be honest, I would have had him in the team pretty much the entire tournament.
Yeah, true. They've basically swapped and swapped between him and Moeen, haven't they?
I'd have to check. I'm pretty sure they've won every game he's played.
Yeah. Let's hope they win again today.
Indeed.
Last ball over, horrible down the leg side. That wheel wide though. He dragged that down a little bit.
Just to see how good he's bowling. Does it leg side wide.
Nitam Bajaj saying hello from the slow train to Frankfurt. Hot as hell. The train's stupidly crowded and Kohli's gone. What else can go wrong? Maybe I'll just miss my flight deliberately to complete this shitty day.
Oh man.
India is still going to go through.
Yeah, exactly. Slower ball again, and Pant can only work that into the leg side to mid wicket. Ends the over.
Mark Jeffrey, when did this Kohli lack of conversion to 100 inquest begin? Jeff Perkins, why would a grubby beer be illicit? Have you earned some kind of ban following a drunken spree?
Nah.
Evil Scotus, women's Ashes start with a day-nighter on Tuesday, so get your preemptive disappointment in pretty damn soon. Jazz Deeps 84, 41st over will decide this game.
41st over.
41st over.
Well, it'll be going for the last 10 then. 183 from 114 balls. That's going some, man.
Jay Grover says, I agree with you, Jack. Recall Bresnan.
Bresnan now?
No.
Not this late stage in his career.
No.
Well, Rohit. I forgot about Wood. I wondered it because we had 6 bowlers. I was wondering who that was. Wood was quite expensive.
It was.
He actually dragged it back in his last 2, didn't he? Rohit seemed to take a liking to him. Let's see. He's 81 off 94. It's outside the off stump. Cut. And he has taken a liking to him. First ball's gone for 4. That's a good shot. Found the space. Had to work hard to get it down there, and not a little bit finer down to the third man, but it's gone behind point down to the boundary, 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's a nice shot.
You know, if they win this, there'll be a whole inquest about Root could have had him out in a fucking second over or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was second over, I think. And it was a regulation catch, to be honest.
Yeah, should have been taken. But he's still there, 85-95. Wood comes in, second ball. Is it over? Straight, clip, come on, yeah, over the infield and down the boundary, 4 runs.
Smack that all on the floor. Smack that,
Seems like they're targeting Wood. To be
Well,
honest.
it does seem like they're targeting Wood. He tried to take the pace off it. It was an off cutter, but it was right in the arc, angling in towards the middle stump. I think you just got to be on that line just outside off stump, so they're trying to work that. It's a lot harder.
It's too easy for him, that wasn't it?
Yeah, it's right in the zone.
Easy. He didn't have to work for it at all.
No.
Swing the bat at it, and if it went.
It's the thing that they don't seem to get off Archer, but they can get off Woods. It's slightly lower trajectory. That one is played straight back past the stumps.
Well done.
Will be fielded though, and it'll be a single. Richard Pan is herring down there like a nutter.
I mean, looks like a run out on the cards away. He's just
he has somewhat erratic start to his innings.
Well, he's been a little gem in the IPL. The question is how will he fare in proper international cricket.
I was pretty surprised he wasn't in the squad.
Yeah, I think everyone was. Because he keeps as well, doesn't he? He's a keeper. Yeah. Oh, well, he's trying to turn that into the leg side. Gets a little leading edge, pops up on the offside. Doesn't go anywhere whatsoever, and there's no run.
Got Tom M saying, does Plunkett's decent showing mean mowing to World Cup is over? England's World Cup might be over on Thursday. So
well, indeed.
And then at Linux Lee, his Coliness's average at Edgbaston is ruined. Before this is ODI, average at Edgbaston was something like 230 odd.
It's down there, 243.
There we go.
Pant is facing up, fifth ball of the over, works that into the leg side, out towards deep square leg. There is some man out there, should only be a single. Well, 10 off the over with one ball to go, and there are 2 fours off the first ball. We can get dot balled out of this, no more runs.
He's recovered it well, hasn't he?
He's recovered it back, considering they need 9.5 and over.
Yeah, recovered it well.
So who's got overs left? Can you get a scorecard up and tell me who's got overs left? I think Archer's got 3 left, hasn't he? Woke's probably got 4.
Archer has 3, Wokes has 4, Stokes has 5, Rashid has 6, I think so.
And Wood has probably 5 or 6 as well.
Yeah.
We've only got to find pulled. There's Plunkett as well, actually. How many Plunkett got left?
Plunkett's probably got 3 left.
Yeah, something like that. I'll try and get him out now. That's pulled down to long leg, and he does get away with 11 off that, considering 2 fours off the first 2 balls of the over.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse. It wasn't a really big over that India probably want.
We've got the T-Boy saying, so Root is apparently in the top 5 fantasy performers. Does that include the runs he's given to the opposition?
Well, they don't seem to include, in this run-saving thing inside.
Yeah.
They don't, the runs lost from a drop catch don't go against the particular fielder, which they should do really, because some guys are going to get 100 and you dropped them on naught. You should be a minus 100 runs basically, because you fucked it up.
Jay Grover saying Pants seems to go for Tahir victory celebrations every time he gets a single. Christ the Choir says greetings from
up in the air. Now that doesn't look like it's got enough on it. Is there anyone out there? Fucking there isn't. It's landed in fucking no man's land. You bastard. He tried to pull that into the leg side. Did row hit, and it's gone straight up in the air. It's one of those ones that you just imagine there's got to be a fielder underneath it, but it was going out towards cow corner. Mid wicket's kind of on the edge of the circuit. He's wide, straightish, and there's a man down a sort of steep, probably in front of square out on the leg side. He can't get round. It's gone round to cow. It's an awful long time up in the air, but it's landed safely. That's really annoying.
It was raw hit as well.
It was that Plunkett, another slow ball into the pads, just knocks that into the leg side. They got back for 2 on that previous ball. I'll take a single off that one.
That is so annoying because he's just so lucky
totally
there.
Time now. Yeah, I suppose England had a fair few that went up to do that. It's the nature of one-day cricket. Eventually, you want one of those to go to hand. Even if he gets 100 and gets out shortly after, you'd think England would still be in the box seat.
They're showing there what's to come, I guess, and they've got Dhoni, Pandya.
Pandya can hit a long ball.
Yeah.
Pulled by Rishabh Pant out to the deep mid wicket. They're going to come back for 2 this time. They will get there. That's a reasonably good shot. 5 off the first 3 balls of the over.
Well, they're certainly stepping up the accelerator. But as you say, it's still 9.5. So
yeah. And England's best bowlers have still got to have their, much like Bumrah came back at the end.
Exactly.
Last 3. thrown up outside off stump, driven nicely by Pant. Is it going to get to the boundary? Good shot. He does get a boundary. That's a great shot by Pant. Driven out. That's 8 off the over. 2 balls left.
1 2 ka 4 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
And we could do with a wicket or 2.
This is only Plunkett's. Well, this is Plunkett's only really expensive over so far.
Yeah.
He's bowled really well so far.
Ooh, can someone bring in my vapour from the other room if anyone's listening? Pant's on 11 off 11. Rohit 94 off 100. Pant facing up, tries to cut that, does again. Late hands, straight to the man at deep point. Be a single.
We have Linux Lee. I hate new people on tweets. They have to be broken like horses.
Well, there is a certain amount of that. They get it eventually.
It's more Leah to who and less Brett Lee.
Huh?
Leah. It's like it's Leah.
It's more Leah to who.
Yeah, it's like Leah, not Lee.
Oh, okay.
No. Big hoik by Rohit, bottom edge. Enough arm strength to get it out to deep mid wicket. Single off that. So 11 off that over. Slightly above the run rate required.
I was calling you Leah yesterday, Leah. So I do apologise. Messy Jez. Patchy coverage here in the Highlands, but loving what I can get. Just a reminder to pick a winner from the Messy Jez ticket comp and let me know the address to send it to.
Yeah, this is true. I think Knackle was on that.
Generator.
We're going to wait until it's late in the day to properly do it, and we should get in touch with him.
Evil Scutus. That bear was the best commentary of the tournament. Sensational micro rant.
He just wants to go to hand. He's a dangerous man, is Rohit. And you know that he can get enormous scores and silly amounts of runs off not many balls if and that's why dropping him.
He's certainly he was a lot further by now. Now he's 95, not over 101.
Well,
He's creeping up. He's creeping up.
He's like Chris Gale. He doesn't worry about what his score rate is. He knows he can catch it up.
Hendo is back with us. Every time I look up from work, England are bowling short, wide filth or half volleys. Is this happening all the time, or am I just unlucky?
No, it's not. And there's it's a pretty decent batting track, it has to be said. And a score of 337 is not a bad score. I guess if England 350, I think we've got to be favourites still. I mean, the current run rate is 5.36. They've got to go on the next 17 overs at 9.47. It's never easy, even though you've got wickets in hand. A couple of overs of stingy overs from England can, certainly make that rise.
And the way Archer and Walks have been bowling, very stingy.
And Plunkett to a lesser degree too.
Plunkett, yeah. He just had a
reasonably bad over, but there's only one, a couple of twos from it.
Before that, he was 1 for 22.
Yeah.
So.
I have Jeff Perkins saying, I presume Pant is not Mark Nicholas's favourite player.
I don't know what's the story there. Maybe not. Short attempted pull by Rohit. Just dribbles out on the leg side. There isn't a mid wicket, and Wood has to follow down his own bowling.
He's spelling Nicholas as with K, Nicker, as in knickers.
Oh,
it's a terrible, terrible pun. Jeff, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely. You very much should be.
Josh Robinson, I thought at Crack the Bear was the source of Bear's vapour.
Oi, cheeky bastard.
But
well, there's KO Rahul up on the balcony and Wood comes in, guided down to third man. They'll get themselves a single.
Little did I know that I didn't realise there is an entire Twitter page devoted to.
It's Crack the Bear. I presume my picture of my arse is on the top of that page too.
Indeed.
Yeah, well there you go. It's famous. Rishabh seems to have calmed down a little bit now from when he first came in.
He was kind of lively at the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's a bit skittish.
Especially after Rohit Sharma spent a lot of time to calm down.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
keep it all together.
And here comes Wood bowling to Rohit, who pulls him out to deep square leg. There is a man out there, and it will only be the one. Good first three balls from Wood, singles off each of them.
That's exactly what we need from him.
Quite happy with that. Singles off 6 and over for the next 4 overs. And
then well,
and then
what, it's creeping up to about 11, 12?
No, yeah, run rate will go up to 10s, 11s.
Yeah.
Got, Evil Scooter saying, look, I know being English predisposes one to a certain level of fatalism, but India is still going to need something pretty incredible to win from here.
I do agree.
Come on, folks, you're not doomed.
They're not. I mean, the one thing in their favour is the wickets in hand. And they have got some buffers. Wow, he's gone around. That's an odd shot over his well hand. Strong on it around the corner, and he's falling over as he does it onto the offside.
I thought he was going to fall over. To be honest.
He still gets one down to long leg.
Ravi Nair replying to Hendo's little rant. It happens to every England fan. For us, our bowling always, if our batting doesn't betray us, unless it's our fielding.
Well,
the win predictor has,
the win predictor has been hovering between sort of England 78 to 22 to 30,
nonsense.
70.
Well,
yeah.
At this point you can kind of
see that. I mean, England has 72% chance of winning. The bookies will probably reflect that. We've got a tenner on for Kiwi Calliot over 2-1. That was her bet of the day. I'm hoping that she loses her money, which is fine. You know, I put it on for her. It came out of my betting account. That's played out into the deep at mid wicket and will only be a single. So 5 singles. Just keep this one as a dot or a single, even a 2.
Yeah, this is exactly what Wood needed, to be fair.
Sasha Karcher, the terror in your voices when the jingle machine went down reminded me of the Blair Witch Project. Glad you made it through what must have been a difficult time.
When did the jingle machine go down?
I think it went down for quite a while in the last session.
Oh, really? Fair enough.
I think the bloody computer did one of his friggin' auto restart nonsense. Full guided, all very fine, but it was only going to be a single. Well done.
Tidy over?
It was a tidy over, only 6 from it.
We'll take that.
155 required for 96 balls. It's quite a big ask. Is that a hydration break?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. I'm going to go. You two yap. I'm just going to go and get my vapor.
Right. Okay. Well, Tim, what do you think from here then?
My eternally pessimistic.
Are you going to be pessimistic? You're going to be optimistic?
My eternally pessimistic Englishness tells me that India are going to start biffing it, and they've got at least 2 or 3 significant hitters to come.
Yep.
However, to take the old Geoffrey Boycott method of adding 2 wickets to the score, and at which point India would be in massive trouble. So I think that for once the win predictor is probably about right. I think 7 times out of 10 England probably win from here.
Yeah, indeed.
But as we've seen with Rohit Sharma's shot, he's obviously played a lot of lovely shots, but then he tried to biff one and he got it in the air.
Well, that's
it was
the
lucky
thing, isn't it?
Where it landed. You know what I mean? So
the strain gets on as the amount of runs and over goes.
Yeah, they'll be having a look.
The probability of a poor shot increases.
Surely they'll be having a look now at the scoreboard and thinking, might have to start.
Yeah,
we're going to have to start hitting the accelerator here. Which, if that happens, yep.
And of course, the further out that happens, and also with the score rate higher, every time a wicket falls, it slows it down a little bit more. Pressure becomes more on Rohit Sharma. You know, Rohit could end up here on 130 on a losing side. Quite easily.
No. I don't know if I'd bring Rashid on, maybe just to rattle through a couple of overs.
Yeah, I'd be tempted.
Just, because if he balls a couple of quick ones,
also after 40 as well, you can have 5 fielding out as well, can't you? You just keep it down, and you can hopefully keep it down to get
singles
2 out on the offside. Yeah, exactly. If they want to drive you through there, you got 1 at extra cover, 1 at backward point. You should be able to cover off that hold offside. You throw it up outside the off stump and maybe get 1 to turn back in with a decent googly.
Yeah, definitely. Rohit's at what, 98th, 104, so he's nearly run a ball. But
Mark Jeffrey saying, how many more times will Morgan refuse to put fielders in fucking no man's land?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he probably knew that there wasn't a fielder out there. We didn't. We expected someone to be there, but we unfortunately don't have the view of seeing the entire ground.
No, we just get to see the ball, and then it's just in the air. Where's it going?
Yeah,
safe.
Neymar Butland, I think when the jingles go down again, there should be a computer notification. Then you can call it Jingle Bells. Can't get that one. Jeff Perkins, the jingle machine becomes unavailable for use on the last day of every month as it calculates jingle usage. Double clicks much appreciated. In order to assess royalty payments, Mog, P, Senor Peel, and Paul McCartney / Yoko are rolling in it.
What was that? England lost. That was 83. Semi-final. So we get through to the last four. So I think, it'd be nice for England to win a World Cup. Would it be the end of the world? Probably not. But I do want us to get through to the last four.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get through the
You feel
semi-final. The home tournament.
exactly. You feel vindicated when you do that.
Gotta do.
The point is, you only miss 3 games if you don't. So it's not the end of the world. Defended back down the track and there's no run.
No, exactly. The way the tournament is, I mean, everyone plays each other. I mean, you obviously want to get through.
And Plunkett, he's got 1 for 35 off 7. It's 5 and over. It's pretty good going.
Nice.
And starts his last over the dot ball. What you don't like is the 4 with a boundary off the first 2 balls.
That's when it's a bit. Oh, it's got up towards 10.
Small Mammal saying India are controlling this perfectly for a Dhoni 6 to win it in the last over.
Well, possibly, but Dhoni has been going slow during his innings. You can't afford that out here. Well, Richard Plant gets down on one knee, works behind square. There's a fielder out there.
Don't know about controlling it perfectly, like. Fair enough they have got the wickets in hand, but that run rate keeps
climbing,
steadily climbing.
Evil Scooter saying, "Hope kills you. It must be avoided at all costs."
This could get very close at the end.
I think so.
Could be squeaky bum time.
Linux Leah, as she corrected me earlier. Rohit to win this with a double ton. You hit it here first.
Flipped into the leg side, but only as far as mid wicket. My phone's
as a Bear's phone joins.
It is my wife. I better tell her that I'm on air. There you go. I just texted her about the classic. Sorry, I can't talk right now, which is the option.
Oh, you get the automatic option on your phone. It's great, that, isn't it? That automatic option when you miss a call. Sorry, I can't talk right now.
No, which doesn't go down well with the wife.
I bet doesn't it?
Hey, sorry, honey, I'm on air.
Thanks for the automatic text.
184 for 2. Plunkett in, short cut by Rohit. He should only get a single. Woods around quick, lets it go quick. They come back for 2. Ooh, that's good running.
Yeah, really good.
Really good running.
And that's his century.
And that is essentially well batted, sir.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
Congratulations, sir. You are a centurion.
Yeah, he batted very well. Could have been caught on naught.
That's third of the tournament?
I think so.
Yeah, he's certainly have not a bad World Cup, is he?
No.
Carla Sayman saying, so at Ozmaster Gulla Cricket SA is forcing, I assume Ozmaster is somebody from Gulla Cricket SA, is forcing his sister and brother-in-law to listen to you guys. So a shout out to Jan and Mark for future listeners.
Ooh, big swing, a bit of a ding down at the edge, no slits, but aerial for a while down a third man as a single. Only 4 off the over so far, 1 ball to go. 6 keeps them up with a rate, 4 doesn't keep them below it, Try and let just a single off this. Chopin seems to quite cherish moving around in the crease to try and get the ball into strange places.
Yeah, he seems every single time he's desperate looking for a single or anything really.
And last ball, Pant tries to pull. Should be a man straight out there. It is indeed. 1 run off that, so only 5 off that over. Pressure moves on. 150 required off 90 balls.
That's 2 overs there, 5 and 6 from them. So I'd like to see what the required run rate is now, but I assume it'd be close to 10 at least.
Indeed. Richard Pant will keep strike. The worms are getting close together.
It'll be exactly 10. 150 off 50.
Yeah. Exactly 10.
Yeah. The worm's converging, but this is where England's worm kind of flattened off a bit, didn't it? I mean, if they carry on at the same rate, what are they now? They're about 20 runs behind where England were. 20, 30 runs behind where England were.
Yeah,
and then we accelerated again later.
Brief acceleration, and then
this is the point where we were flattening out. We got about 30 or 40 runs off a similar amount of 5 or 6 overs. We're only going about 4, 5 and over. And they had some big overs later on. Even though we were losing wickets. But, similar situation, they have wickets in hand. Wood is in. Big swing. He's fucking lost the bat. Pant's just thrown the bat. It's nearly hit bloody Butler behind the stumps, trying to heave that into the leg side. There's a bit of a chuckle.
Imagine if his Butler thrown it into the stumps.
Well,
beautiful that would have been.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been quite funny. Dot ball, first ball of the over. That's really big swing of that.
Do you reckon if he hits the ball and then like if Butler caught his bat, can you?
I don't know what.
No, I'm literally have no idea. He's just caught his bat there. I don't really know what. So.
Anyway, Wood comes in, second ball of the over. Throw. Oh! Good ball. I think he rolled his fingers across it slightly slow. Threw it out wide. Again, Pant having a big swing at it, 77 miles an hour. Really took the pace off it. Got nowhere near it. And Pant's being a bit, you'd say, this is where experience counts. He's being a bit impetuous, I'd say.
I mean, he's just wildly swinging.
Whatever you do, exactly, he is just wildly swinging. And if you don't think the ball's there to really hit, you've got to get the single still. And the required run rate has creeped over 10.23.
Well, that's 2 now. I mean, he's just going at it.
Wood in again. Short, pulled, nicely pulled. Is there a man out there? There isn't a man out there behind
square.
4 runs, 3 balls gone in the over though.
1 2 ka 4 2 ka 1. My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
I prefer to keep it full.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if you're going to bowl short, you've kind of got to take the pace off it, haven't you? Let it stick in the wicket.
Yeah.
Generally leads to missed timing, and you've got to vary the pace.
Got Jeff Perkins saying, adapting Katy Perry lyrics to be Katy Berry lyrics. Tonight, I'm talking on air. From the Katy Perry song Walking on Air.
Wood in again. Another pull, another behind square. No, it's not. It's in front of square this time. And Wokes is out there. It'll just be a single.
Evil Scooter saying if they're going to get within QE of the target, Rohit's going to need to get pretty close to a 200. Hashtag Rohit's 200.
Pretty much.
I
mean, he's certainly capable, though. that's the worrying thing.
Well, that is the worrying thing, isn't it? Kind of want a mistake from him. The pitch is pretty true. 193 for 2. Into the 36 over. Full on leg side. Aerial, though. Is there anyone out there? Ooh, hit down towards long leg. Didn't get enough of it, did Rohit. And it bounces just short of Johnny B. 194 for 2.
Durban Oki says at Gulla Cricket, if Butler didn't catch the ball because he was evading the bat and the ball then went for 4 byes, would they count?
Ooh, don't know. Actually, I assume they would. They say stop being a pussy. It's only cricket bat.
Armchair Cricket Podcast. Well played, Rohit, for another 100 at Cricket World Cup 19.
Indeed, 6 off the over. Last ball of the over. Smashed in the air, man! Oh! It's gone over the top of cover. So they get 10 off the over. They keep that going. 2 4s late in the over. And Wood has bowled 7 for 52.
1 2 3 4.
Still 140 required off 84 balls. Just about up with a rate there.
Yep.
At 10.
Well, they need about 4, otherwise they would have, again, another over winner behind.
He's just swinging hard, though, isn't he, Pat? And there's not a lot of thought for technique. It's just give it some Humpty.
Yep. Oh, Walk's coming back on.
He's got 5 overs left. I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Here is his jingle.
He's on Instagram, and he's a Twitter fan. On the Ashes tour, not Ben Stokes, but he'll have to do.
So what you wonder with Chris Wokes, is he hittable later on? He's got 1 for 8. Off 5 so far, which is pretty stunning. Could have had 2. I don't know, Archer could have 1 drop, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the early stages. Caught and bowled.
Well, I reckon they're going to go. Well, they're going to certainly go and try and hit him. But he's got the different variations and stuff to probably catch one of them out.
Yeah, he has, isn't he? He's got the cutters and everything. Yeah. They've all got it now, haven't they? Spent a few years in the IPL and you learn everything. Which does make the game quite interesting.
You kind of got to, haven't you, really, for one day match?
Yeah, well, you think about it. 10 years ago there was the odd slower ball, and it's like, he's got a slower ball out of the back of the hand. That's amazing. And now there's like 10 variations, knuckleballs and all sorts. That's been good for innovation. Same with the shots as well. You see people play, and a change in tactics. You know,
it's more exciting to watch.
It is. Well, you know, I mean, so many sides treat an ODI. There's 2 phases, a 30 innings game and a T20. You know, and you just keep wickets, and this is what India have done here. You know. He's out! Come on, he's been giving it to Heathrow. That's the wicket England really wanted. He's a danger man. It was a slower ball. It was a wider ball. And Rohit just wanted to hit it down the ground. I think he's pretty much toe-ended that. And it's just taken all the pace off. It's an easy catch for... Oh, no, it wasn't. It was nearly the toe end. But it's a slow catch. He's going up to Butler's right. He grasped hold of it. And that's the wicket England wanted. England will think they're big favourites now. He really is the danger man that you
maybe
really fear.
A slightly preemptive tweet from Josh Robinson that's only just come through. Prediction: Wokes' figures are about to get worse. Not sure they did.
They just got much better. And that's it. And I'll take a little bit pace out of it. Are they going to shove in Hardik Pandya?
Pandya,
or are they going to give Dhoni a go?
Yadav.
You'd imagine they maybe hold Dhoni, or maybe put Dhoni in now if he's going to take a while to get going.
I mean, he will.
Not that they've really got the time going at over 10s.
I mean, if England do win this, and I'm only going to say that, I mean, I think we must be firm favourites now. Put some marker down as well. You know, we've had a couple of bad games. India, one of their second favourites. We come up against them on an even surface.
Yep.
Question is, will the ICC produce a slow load turner for the final? Or will it be an English wicket?
It is, actually.
Yeah,
going to be.
They like to go with him if there's not too much to go. They figure he's a big hitter, and he is a big hitter.
This man, when I find him, I've got him yet.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
Oh, good stop.
What stop?
Who's that out there? It's Johnny
Bear
B.
Store,
They're going to come back for 3 though. It was cut by Hardik Pandya. First ball was thrown up a little bit wide by Wokes. Got it hard in front of square. Bairstow went around. He nearly he dived to put his hand out, and it started to dribble back towards the boundary, but it was alert enough to go behind himself. Was he touching? He wasn't. His both feet were inside the boundary. That's really good thinking.
If they win by 1 run, that's
yeah. Well, that'll be it. Yeah. 201 for 3. That is the 200 up for India in the 37th over though, and they still require 137.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of runs. But we know Pandya can get like a 40 off of a very small amount of balls. So.
He does hit it long, and he hits it straight.
Yep.
And he's not prepared to give it some Humpty. Wokes 2 for 11 or 5.2 overs. And it's gone straight up in the air! Oh, for fuck's sake, it's dropped short of someone again. And they still get a single. That's a desperation shot. Pan trying to reverse paddle. I
don't know what that was.
Wokes. I don't know what he's trying to do.
Dr.
Ballooned up in the air, just square on the offside.
Well, Dr. Matt Burley saying Root has cost his team 102 runs. How many beers must he buy tonight? And then Target in response, Target 1678 says credit card behind the bar job. Last one out collects a card and then orders takeout from the whole squad.
Well, there you go. That's fair enough. If they win, I'm sure he'll be up for that. If they lose, someone will be beating him up in the dressing room. Hardik Pandya just plays that straight back down the track, fielded off his own bowling by Wokes, no run. And this is it. England needs to get 3 tight overs in here now. You get 3 tight overs at 4 or 5 and over. Because the new batsman's adjusting to get himself in.
Then the pressure really
the pressure really comes on then. And with Rohit and Kohli out, you know Dhoni can go long, but he tends to take a while to wind up. And Hardik Pandya is probably the real danger man. I've seen Kedar Jadhav to have big innings.
I think his strike rate was 100. It was exactly a run of ball. So.
Yeah. Pandya 3 off 2. Pants 27 off 24. He has managed to manufacture more than a run of ball, which is probably not enough. Pandya again smashes that straight down the ground. Mid-off's up inside the circle. Well fielded, no run.
Well, you can see Pandya's intention already.
Yeah, well, he does like to hit straight. A lot of it's straight or cow. It goes deep in his crease as well. He's one of these guys who manages to hoik Yorkers Back over long on for sixes. After we were 216 for 3, so they're not far behind us.
No.
But we'd had a slow patch here, hadn't we? And then we accelerated after this. They can do it, but we were just about getting to the end of our batsmen coming out of a funk after a couple of quick wickets. They've just had one been taken, and it's played out to deep cover. They'll get 2 runs. Ends the over, 6 overs and a wicket, 6 runs and a wicket. Good for England. 204 for 3. India after 37, 135 required. 134. Sorry.
We have, I believe, one of our colleagues from Gulla Cricket South Africa, Mr. Simon Gear, joining us.
Hello, Simon.
Simon says, "Hey, Gulla Cricket, loving the comms. The Hofbears rant was a thing of beauty. Made me briefly frustrated at Gulla SA's decision to keep it clean, but we have our reasons. I model my commentary on the bear with mixed results."
Well, it's natural for me. That's all I'll say. I live my life like this, and I'm glad I'm on the internet because I don't think I can do commercial radio. I don't think I'm cut out for it. Who's got overs? Wokes has 4, Archer has 3, which is good. Plunkett has 2.
Stokes has 6.
So that's 9 out of Wood's got 3 left as well. That takes it up to 12, and only 1 over to find from someone else. If they mix it around right, I'd be tempted to give Adil Rashid another go. The win predictor has now gone up to England 85%, India 15. A couple more wickets, and I think it'll all start falling away. That's England's job, isn't it? Oh, big swing again. No, I think that was a quick ball. Decided to go full on quick there, Wood, and Pant was nowhere near it, really.
Nicely timed.
92 miles an hour. That's a decent pace.
Does it on before from Josh Archer? 96 miles per hour.
Wow.
96 miles
So
per hour.
languid as well.
Nicely timed from that shot. And Tom M says, "How is Pant so far up the order? Power hitting is one thing, but he's batting like a headless chicken."
He is a bit. But, he's in for Shikhar Dhawan. He's probably a bit overexcited. He's quite young, as Pant, isn't he? He does have a bit of talent. You've seen him doing it in a test match. Again, full guided down towards third man. It'll only be a single. As they walk through, Pandy will take strike.
Spangly Sai says, "Been distracted by Kylie at Glastonbury. To be fair, she's easier on the eyes than you guys."
Well, I'll let you get away with that one.
And cooking for the other half. Are we still doomed? Far from doomed at the moment.
We're far from doomed. I mean, India still do have a chance. It's closely on 2 runs of ball soon. A few more overs of 5 and over, and it will be 12 and over. And once it gets beyond that, you're really struggling. Unless you have Gulbadine to bowl you an over.
that was the most village filth.
It was terrible.
Wood. Oh, wow! That's a good shout for RWW. I wouldn't be surprised. The DRS maybe angling down leg side, but it didn't hit too high.
Morgan doesn't look too interested.
He really has pinned him on the crease. That was bloody quick delivery. They've decided they're not going for it.
Sure, we'll see in a minute. Yeah. But mine's may be slightly trailing down
leg. And having not been given out, the best it was probably going to be was umpire's call. Gone right across. No, maybe not actually. It's hitting in front of middle.
Maybe height.
Maybe height. Maybe hitting the top of middle. And the question is more than half the ball going hit the bails or the other way around. Again, Wood is in wide of the crease. Quick, he's decided no cuts.
Lovely spell.
It's all full and quick. Pan is new to the crease, so you've got to pick it up early. He doesn't. Just plays out a single to mid on. A single, 2 off the first 4 balls.
Here we are.
It's hit him in front of middle, and it's going umpire's call on top of middle.
Bang on the top of middle.
And there was more of the ball hitting than not. It's unlucky not to get given that. You can see why the umpire thought maybe it was going over the top.
I do see, but I mean, he was so far back on his crease that I thought maybe he'd give it like.
Oh well, Pant's facing up, 28 of 26. He is 206 for 3. India. 2 balls left in 38th over. Wood is in, bowls again, full and fast. Tried to pull it, Pant. He's not got anything on that.
Was he going for a run there?
No, he was thinking about it. I think that hit him maybe in a bit of flesh between padding as he lifted his leg at the end. Maybe in a bit of a 2 off the first 5 balls. It hit 6 now. They've only got 8 off the over.
This is exactly the over that we needed.
So, your fellow Geordie doing you proud?
Woody, yeah, he's doing bits. I mean, I don't know. He's a Wimbledon fan, like I don't know why. But I don't know.
Indeed. Last ball of the over. pants.
Well, we'll go to nearly 11 now. Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's creeping up quickly.
Dawson's on for someone.
Dawson's on. Yeah, give him a run out. Here comes Wood. Last ball of the over. It's full and it's heaved into the leg side. Maybe it's going to be 4. You can deal with that. 6 off the over anyway. Only. And 210 for 328. Record of 72.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Pretty good going for England here.
Yeah, what was that? 6 off the over there?
6 off the over, exactly. You can deal with 6 off the over. Even the boundary really doesn't.
On we have some people with us on Cricket Tracker. Akram Zawara, I assume back in India, saying Pakistan Zindabad. Hopefully, we have Ash Khan saying India are going to lose. Looking likely.
Well, it'll be the first loss of the tournament, won't it?
Yep.
It's looking they've had a rained-off game as well.
Yeah, New Zealand was that rained-off game, wasn't it?
Which was good for New Zealand.
Very good for New Zealand, yeah.
Because they went now they're on 11, exactly.
They went through their first 4 games, played 3, not 3
teams
of the teams they'd expect to beat, and then they had a rained-off game against India.
And they've had 3 close games as well. They got through. Wokes, anyway, is going to come in for his 7th over. 2 for 14 so far. Throws it up wide, smashed. Oh, good fielding on the edge of the circle by Morgan. Hit so hard that they can't even get a single out to the edge of the circle.
Probably would have been a wide if it had left that as well.
Might well have been. It was a slower ball, the last ball. He just goes through with extreme pace on him. He doesn't seem to be able to get it,
No.
Don't take the pace off. He was struggling against full-on pace. You got to pick your batsmen who do struggle against extreme pace. Because, Rohit doesn't seem to like the extreme pace on the ball. He's into the leg side. Oh, just wide of the man at mid-on. It was error for a while, but that's what Pandya's there for. It's a 4.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
He does like to hit straight.
Jeff Perkins says, which of these bears do you think Simon Gear modelled himself on? It's a picture of like a big grizzly and a little teddy bear with a smiley face t-shirt on.
Yeah, I think the one with smiley face t-shirt on. Sorry, Simon.
Yeah, that one was aerial briefly, but never really.
No,
there's no chance.
He does like to hit straight. I think if you're going to have, he's a lot of bottom hand, Pan, and if you really want to stop the boundaries, he's going to get away with a few anyway because he hits it bloody hard. But I would have, exactly. They've gone a long on and they've got a sort of cow forward front man. But he throws that up outside the off stump and he's going to get 4 runs there out to extra cover. It's a good shot by Pandya. They need this kind of over. 2 4s. Wokes needs to drag this back. I might be tempted to give Adil Rashid a little over.
I think so. Because even if there's the odd boundary, you reckon someone will be tempted and maybe make a stupid shot.
Yeah, throw it up in the air. There's the man who paints himself an Indian flag.
It has that weird seashell
The
horn.
conch. Do you think someone paid for him to come over? Probably. Current run rate is 5.66, required is 10.43. 120 or 69 balls required, and that's heaved into the leg side again. There isn't anyone out there. It's been split the fielders. 4 runs, 3 4s in a row from this Wokes over, and it's good hitting by Pandya. I'd be tempted, and this is what right arm bowlers don't do: come around the wicket to the right hander, throw it into their pads, and just pack the leg side. It's going to be very difficult to get it over the offside if you do that. No, that's another tactic that never really gets tried in ODI cricket.
We've got PR Harry listening to your show sporadically on Egyptian Wi-Fi. Loving the show, fellas. First-time listener, full-time follower.
Thank you very much.
Yes, welcome.
There's a little chat.
I mean, rightfully so. we need to they need to pull it back for this these last 3 balls.
You can afford 1 or 2 bad overs at this rate, can't you?
As long as they can try and keep it below 100, above 100 for the final 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
116 required off 68. Here it comes. And he's worked it into leg side again. This should... Oh, no.
Oh,
They
come
put the
on.
man straighter. That's a
Well
fucking
done.
great shot by Pandya. Good bit of fielding by Stokes. They do get back for 2. But they clearly put the man straighter. And good thinking by Pandya. Gets across his stumps. Works it out to deep mid wicket. His head's in the game.
Durban Oki says this is the Gulbadine over.
Well, yeah. It's not as late as Gulbadine's over, fortunately.
And that went for almost 20.
Yeah.
Whereas this is
Well,
14 at the moment.
14 at the moment. Could do with a dot ball off the last ball. As I think about it, he's still got 3 overs left.
Just ruined Walker's figures.
Yeah, well, still 2 for 28.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah. You've got to take it as a whole.
Indeed.
Indian fans loving this over. There's a little bit of a break. Wokes has taken his shoe off. Don't quite know what's
Not
going
sure
on.
what's going on.
No, not either.
And they're not showing us what's going on either, so...
Any more tweets?
Yeah.
We do. Linux Leah, not quite sure why she's heading with this one. Dick, spelled D-I-K status. Ha. Yep, that's a penis joke, and I hope Kiwi Callie hears this. Not entirely sure what you mean with that one, Leah. But
no, will we? But maybe Kiwi Callie in life.
maybe it's some sort of Kiwi
thing. So Archer's got 3, Plunkett's got 2, Wood's got 2. That's what, 7, and 3 after this from Wokes. That's 10.
Yeah.
So they'll have to find an over from either Stokes or Rashid.
It's not a problem, is it really?
No, they've both been quite expensive.
They have.
But under what's required, which is 10 and over. I might be tempted to go to Stokes. I think pace seems to be working better on this pitch, doesn't it? As long as you need to kick the line that's so important. Although with Pandya, he's getting himself right across his off stump. Maybe those wide, slower Yorkers.
Yeah, because he's free. He's making space to free himself.
He's
up
really
to
trying to heave into the leg side, isn't he? He's got to get it out wider and wider on the stump, fuller and fuller.
And this is what that's what I was saying about Pandya. The fact he can score a lot of runs off very little.
Yep. He is known as a big hitter, as a finisher. Here comes Wokes, last ball of the over, and again Pandya drives that straight. Has he got enough on it? I think he good bit of fielding down there by Root, isn't it?
Yep.
They'll come back for 2 though. It's a good over, 16 off it. Wokes isn't very happy. That will be good for India. The run rate still remain above 10 and over. Just 12 required off 11.
Yeah. Showing the
well, the Worms are catching up to each other.
They are. But I was going to say at the end of the end of England's, and there's a lot of wickets fell in short succession.
They did indeed. Well, the closer it gets, of course, the more you've got to chase it up. Indeed. Get an extra man out after the next over as well. 5 men allowed out.
Yes.
Could come down to the wire.
Yep. It's looking pretty close. Could do with a tight over of Plunkett here.
Do with a wicket.
A wicket.
A wicket would be nice. 2 wickets ideally in the next 3 or 4 overs would be super special. If it was these two, if it was these two, you'd fancy the game maybe up. You'd have one of the tail enders in with Kedar you'd have.
But they still have Dhoni as well.
Oh yeah, they've still got Dhoni as well, haven't they? No, but he likes to, he likes to take it deep.
He does, yeah.
He's fine if he's needs 20 off the last over. It's in the air. I don't think he's got enough on it. Is there a man out there? There is. Oh! Go Wokesy! Go Wokesy! He's heaved that round the corner. He's trying to manufacture something, Pan. He got it up in the air. Wokes made a lot of ground. Diving, caught it low down to the ground. It's a fucking good catch. Pan has gone for 32 off 28. England will feel much happier after that. He was trying to manufacture it. That's a great catch. Just as we said, England wanted a wicket. Plunkett's the man once again.
Gets him.
He's always getting a wicket. 2 for 80, 2 for 41, is that?
Leah has come back to us explaining that joke. How don't you get a joke about hard dick and hard dick?
Oh, right, all right.
Dick status, hard dick.
Right. Calm down.
Ian Walker just before that dismissal. 16 runs off the over. The Doom is back.
Wicket.
Well, wicket changes that, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Sherry Hinterland, the Worms aligning help.
They do, and yet again England get a wicket right at the right time, and you know it's got to be done.
What a superb catch though, Tim.
Superb,
wasn't it?
Catches win matches, and the one that dropped against Rohit could have lost it, but that's the kind of catch that does win you a match.
Yeah,
because that was looking like
fantastic.
4. If he hadn't got that, it was another 4, another boundary.
Ralph the Wonder Llama being very complimentary. God, I love Bear on lead comms.
Why, thank you.
That is Donny.
Count the runs scored in white and blue. Count the catches and the stumpings too. Donny will bring it home. Donny will bring it home. Donny will bring it.
Another nice tweet about you from Mark Jeffrey. Who needs pictures? A fucking good catch is enough for me to picture it. Hashtag poetry.
Well, you know, I try. T26 for 4, India. 5 balls left required. Before the 40th over, and this Plunkett's 9th over. He's got 2 for 40 and his 8th so far. He's bowled extraordinarily well, and it's justified its place instead of a mowing. One has to say. We do like him in the middle overs. He's a good middle overs bowler. Plunkett again. That one's gone down fine. Not going to be 4 runs. I thought it was going to go down very fine, and they get 4, but.
Donny run 2 there.
Donny did run 2. And Pandya moves himself on. There's a cutter, it's 2 down leg side. He tried to sweep it.
Oh, here's a replay.
Pandya, we're seeing a replay.
Yeah. What a catch.
On the dive, full length. He thought maybe he could roll over the boundary, but he was in far enough.
Yeah, because Pant's done not a lot wrong, to be honest.
No, to be fair, that's not a wide, surely. No. Please don't give that as a wide. It should be a dot ball. No! What? That's not a wide. Wasn't that high? Wasn't that wide? Just when England needed a wicket. Pant looks
perfect
pained.
timing. Perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. 4 down, 229 for 4. And that was a wide indeed. That's short. Pulled hard. Is there a man out there? No. Bairstow. Oh, I don't know if he stopped that. I'm going to say that's 4. I think he was touching the boundary when he pulled that in with his arm.
Well, we'll see, but it was great effort.
They're not going to question it. They've got to go upstairs, haven't they?
We have some more tweets in the meantime. Jay Graver, I claim this is stolen valor for Sheffield, Yorkshire.
Oh no, you know what? I think he's done that. I think that's fucking amazing.
Oh, he has?
What piece of film that is.
That is a really good bit of fielding. His hand's not touching there, not touching there, not touching there, not touching there. The ball's away from him.
Yeah,
that's
good.
That's really
Perfectly
good fielding. I thought he hadn't managed that, so probably got 2 there. He hit that hard, the Pandya, didn't he?
Got Durban Oki saying, I thought Wokes had dropped that the way he just tossed the ball back and walked in with no celebration. It was quite nonchalant, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good bit of fielding by
brilliant,
Bairstow. He's managed to pat the ball back with little touchings 2, so 5 off first 3 balls with a wide, of course, and a wicket. That's what England need. Now I think I get Pandya out, just to get Pandya out. Yeah, he is a dangerous customer.
He is.
I've seen him go absolutely ballistic and score over 200 run rate in the IPL. Short down the leg side, pulled again out towards long leg, but Bairstow's down there once more. 2 more runs. 2 leg sidey here from.
Yeah, it's a bit easy for him.
Plunkett. Yeah, you want to. Don't know, mind you, he likes the straight ball as well, doesn't he? Wide Yorkers.
Johnny Mack saying, thoroughly enjoyed listening to the Gorilla Cricket Boys today, especially when I was watching the F1 on mute. Don't tell, thanks a million.
Well, at the end of this over, there'll be a change. We'll have a final crew for the last 10 overs. 2-3-3 for 4. 105 runs still required. 62 balls. And margin 10.5 and over if they can get a couple of dots. I imagine it'll be close to 10. And the wickets keep tumbling, and that's when it gets harder for India. I think one more wicket and England will field it. That's it. Driven up to
That's
mid-off.
all right.
They go through for a quick single, and I'll let them have it. It's a 1. 8 off the over. Last ball. 104 required off 61.
First delivery, Dorney's first.
Donny doesn't have a lot of time to do his thing, because he can often score at 50 runs per 100 balls, can't he, for 20 balls, and he can't afford that here today. And often when he doesn't have the time, he's getting a bit older, and we can give it away trying to manufacture stuff when he's not really ready to. Plunkett will come in to Bolton. First ball's full outside.
He's left
He's left it. You left it. It's a fucking one-day international. You need 104 or 60 balls. Don't leave a ball. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's the end of my spell. We'll have a change now, and they will take you through Grubby, possibly till the
Alternative cricket commentary. Bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
Welcome back. It's Grubby here in the jingle chair, and while Knuckle Pandey puts on the headgear and puts the microphone to his lips, I'll hand over to him. He'll be in the ball-by-ball seat.
Thank you very much, Grubby. I'm joined by Kiwi Cowley to my left, reading your tweets and your Facebook
Kia ora,
Live
Tata.
messages. Kia ora. 10.4 needed off the last over. The last 10 overs, 104 needed, 6 wickets in hand. It should be done for England. It really should be.
Yeah, but it ain't. It ain't yet.
Now, Hardik Pandya is playing a wonderful innings, 29 of 16. MS Dhoni has left his first ball for none. Christopher Roger Wokes, in front of his home crowd, has 2 for 30 and took that blinding catch in the last over to dismiss Rishabh Pant, as well as holding on with the full-length dive. He made up about 20 yards to his left. A brilliant piece of work from Wokes. We've got a third man, well, 2 third men up in the circle, extra cover, deep cover, mid-on up in the circle, quite straight, long on back, mid-wicket back. A man sort of halfway outside the circle at deep square leg. Wokes is in. Hardik goes deep in the crease. It's outside off stump. Hardik tries to chop this down the ground. Doesn't really time it at all. Goes through to Wokes. There is no run. Good slower ball. What does the Twitter sphere make of all this these shenanigans?
James Moosh would like to know what's happened that we now see Dhoni as the safer option to have during the last 10 overs rather than Pant or Pandya.
Time.
Oh, and it's Men with Ven. Hello.
Hello, Venice. So everyone behind square is in the circle. Everyone in front of square is on the boundary. That's the field. This is full outside off stump, and Hardik drives, tries to find the gap, doesn't find the gap. Morgan comes hurtling in off the long off boundary. Just a single.
I have to say Men with Ven is a real challenge to my Kiwi accent. Men with Ven.
Yeah. Excellent vowelage. Carry on.
I said Dunkirk, in it.
Which
Rightio.
bit? It was India scored 82 of the last 2 overs, but lost Rohit Sharma and they lost Rishabh Pant in that time. And in the context of the game, very much England will take that, I think.
Chris Wokes started this tournament by taking 4 catches, didn't he, against South Africa?
He did, yes.
Which is a joint record for an outfielder in a World Cup game. Along with
Wokes tosses the ball from hand to hand, covering it up in his left hand as though he's trying not to let Dhoni see what he's doing. Full outside off stump, Dhoni wrists it through the gap out to deep point for a single, along with Jonty.
No, Mohammed Kaif is one of them.
Ah,
and I forgot.
03 would have been.
There are 1 or 2 others.
Hello to Manu Madhu on Crick Tracker.
Hello, Manu. As opposed to Nanu, which is what Robin Williams' character said in Mork and Mindy, isn't it?
My mother still refers to Robin Williams as Mork from Ork.
Yeah. That's kind of what I remember him as well.
That same slightly split field to Hardik Pandya. Everyone behind square up, everyone in front of square back. Outside off stump, Chris Wokes. And Hardik flat bats it down the ground. They will come through for 2. Good running by Hardik and MS Dhoni. Difficult for Hardik to find the boundary unless he can nurdle one around the corner or flick one over the short fine leg, but with Wokes taking pace off the ball, that's not easy.
He's not big on foot movement either, is he?
Well, he goes deep in the crease.
Yeah, but then just sets himself and swings through the line. He's such a muscular, powerful chap that often that's good enough, and it's a great eye for a ball.
Wokes can't go too straight because there is no one at square leg for him to. So Hardik has a gap there, so deep in his crease. A full toss, and nearly a wonderful catch from the man at backward point, but Hardik's got 4 down to the third man boundary. Adil Rashid flinging himself to his left and inches away.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I tell you, we've seen some catches in the last few days. Guptill's the other day, yesterday, Smith the other day. I wonder if Adil Rashid got half a hand to that.
It looked like he was diving away. It's hard to set yourself when you're diving, but I think he thought it was coming to him, and maybe just that bit of spin off the bat, if you like, just rotated it away from him.
Yeah, we saw Wokes today. That would have been an absolute blinder from Rashid, especially in the context of this game. Still think Bolt against South Africa against West Indies was the best of the lot. Last ball of the 41st over. Hardik deep in the crease. It's very wide of off stump. Hardik flat bats it out to Johnny Bairstow on the cover boundary. They come through for a single. What's that? 9 runs off the over. Hardik is on strike.
Keeps a strike.
37 off 21. Yeah, it seems remarkable to say that with MS Dhoni at the other end, but that's how the game has evolved. 95 needed off the last 9 overs.
We have some tweets. Ryanair is asking if it's just an England thing, or is every team stupid or intimidated enough to let fast bowlers set their own fields but decide to set fields for spinners? That Plunkett over, despite the lucky wicket, was dire.
Yeah, it wasn't a great over, and in fairness, the ball that he got Virat Kohli with was not a particularly good ball.
Ian Walker says 8 runs and a wicket off the over, we're doomed. Martin Brown, a true game between 1 and 2 in the rankings. And Jay Grover says that it's nice to hear from me. It was lovely to hear from you, Jay, and I hope that I enjoyed Britain. I am very much. I'd avoid Sheffield. Yes, it's not on the list.
Sheffield's all right.
That's great if you go to the World Snooker, the Crucible. One of the great sporting arenas in the world.
We have a change of bowling.
Do we?
Wokes, it looks like, is coming out of the attack, being saved for the death. Butler has the helmet on, and this man is coming on to bowl.
Here we go. It is...
Adil Rashid on the 45. Adil Rashid on the 45. Adil Rashid on the 45.
Rashid into the pads of Hardik Pandya, who drives down to mid-on. They want to, they're not going to get to. Good work from the man at long on. A little bit of distortion on that jingle. Ben Stokes flings the ball back in, just a single.
I was going to say to Memory Ven, if he is still listening, maybe... obviously, it won't be your production. It'll be something to do with the nuts and bolts here.
It's an interesting call because while Hardik is murderously powerful off spinners, MS Dhoni scores at barely 4 and over against spinners in the last few years.
With his little grey sideburns there, MS Dhoni.
He's a silver fox, isn't he?
He looks like he's out on the golf course, doesn't he?
He looks like a delivery driver.
In the
he does look
veterans
like a delivery driver. Short third man, short fine leg, short mid wicket and short cover up. It's the classic wrist spinner's field, and googly dragged down the leg side, and Rashid's got away with that because Dhoni hits this straight to short fine leg. There is no run. 2 yards either side, that would have been 4.
Very lucky indeed, that from Adil.
Hi to Anna Forsyth, who says that Chris Wokes' catch is further proof that he is not of this world, but divinely sent.
Rashid again down the leg side. This one turns into MS Dhoni. He turns this to Jofra Archer. They do come through for the single.
Josh Robinson, who's this Min with Vin? Yeah, cheers, bro.
Min with Vin, it's a little person who makes wine. All right, Josh? Happy now?
Man with
vin.
Man con vin.
Avec.
Hardik Pandya. Not quite there for the drive from Adil Rashid, and Hardik just checks his shot and punches this up to Ben Stokes at long on. Single taken. Good stuff from Adil Rashid, apart from that one terrible drag down. You see that Hardik Pandya scores at over 9 and over in one-day internationals against spinners.
Yeah,
30. That's amazing. 9 4s and 31 6s off spinners in one-day internationals.
Extraordinary.
That's ridiculous.
He's a freakishly big hitter.
Yeah, quite a willowy man.
Yeah.
Manu Madhu on Crick Tracker would like to know what we think of MS Dhoni.
Well, he's an absolute hero of the game, isn't he? I think.
Hell of a career, but he is slowing down.
In every respect. He still looks fit as a flea, though.
He's a quick runner, and he's a better keeper now than he ever was. This one turns, but it's too short, and it's whipped off the pads by MS Dhoni. Just, again, down to long on for a single. India need a boundary if the last ball of this over. Hardik Pandya is certainly the man to provide it. 4 runs off the over.
good captaincy this to bring Rashid on. I mean, it's a risk, isn't it, at this point? When
Well, you have to trust him. You have to trust him. He does bowl a lot at the death. The run rate's pretty high. India have to hit. Wokes and Archer have only got 2 and 3 left, respectively. Rashid in. Again, held back a little bit on leg stump and punched by Hardik down the ground. He will keep the strike. They only take 2, so I think that's pretty good from Adil Rashid despite that drag down. 5 runs only off that over, and with 8 overs left, India need 90 to win.
Get through some more tweets. Fiscal Yogi, that's a great Twitter handle. Anis Rao. I know I'm late to make this comment, but did you notice Vince touched the ball down after taking Kohli's catch? What's the rule on taking catches, and how long do you have to hold the ball before it's set to be completed?
He caught it well above the ground. I think that's absolutely fine.
Hello to Oracle Matt Searle. Kiwi Kali is one of the first people I ever heard you read out when I first started to listen to you. Yes, that is my egotism at play. Nice to put a voice to the tweets. Well, lovely to hear from you. Jeff Perkins is trying to catch me out by saying, talking of Kiwi accents, time for a Hardik 6. Okay. That's just for you, Jeff.
Come look at my dick.
Perko. You mischievous man.
Oh dear. That's about as close as you're going to get to me slipping today, I think. And Luigi Love. Hello, fellas on M40. Sorry, I'll break off.
Christopher Roger Wokes continues. Full outside off stump and battered by Hardik Pandya down the ground. Straight to Owen Morgan at deepish set mid-on. They come through for a single.
On his way to Manchester, loving your commentary. Is MS Dhoni past his best? And some comment about his bowel function.
I mean,
That's
yes,
Luigi's.
certainly with the bat, although he's a better keeper now than he ever was, but, you know, his best was very bloody good, and he's been playing for a very long time. The lights are coming on, the E's at Edgbaston are lighting up.
Roy Palmer and Dave Emery's predicting England's doom.
We really do have a high proportion of pessimists.
Well, it's the Hendo fan club, isn't it?
Wokes in short. Dhoni tries to go up and over, but it's only gone up. It's right off the toe of the bat. Where's this coming down? Oh my God, it's gone for 4. How on earth did that happen?
Wow.
Mid-off was up in the circle. James Vince was quite wide at long on, had to run round, and it somehow, despite the fact it seemed to come right off the toe end of the bat, bounced an inch short of the rope for 4.
I play you this jingle advisedly. I don't play it at all.
I guess a safe enough shot with mid-off up, but didn't really time it at all.
Looney Tunes of a boundary, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was up for ages, isn't it? 6 or 7 second hang time or something.
Like Wile E. Coyote smashing into a cliff face. 5 runs off the first 2 balls of the over. Dhoni tries to pull, doesn't time it at all, and toe ends it back to Chris Wokes on the bounce. There is no run.
Oh, the ghost of Zoob has returned. I do miss the days when 4 and over was seen as difficult. Such simpler times.
Yeah.
It's true.
Some of those scores from the early World Cups that were they 65 over games or something?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 187.
Yeah. Or Gavaskar in the inaugural World Cup.
Hilarious.
First World Cup game.
34 off 60 overs
36.
or something?
36.
Sorry,
He won't count you. He won't help you.
And yours.
Thank you. Wokes in full. Dhoni puts his wrists through this and just nudges it down to long on. They walk a single, trying to get Hardik back on strike. 6 runs off the first 4 balls of the over. So what can Hardik do off the last 2?
But then 8 years later, he's got the last laugh. He's standing there on the balcony, world champion.
No thanks to him.
Evil Scooter just wants to know what's the weird thing on the England collar. I think it's to do with the One Day for Children charity.
It's people we interviewed the other day, actually. Tony Bishop interviewed during the innings break of India-West Indies. One Day for Children is the charity who have been given this day, as it were. Hardik sets up with his back foot, basically outside off stump and behind off stump. He batters this hard down the ground, but Liam Plunkett's gone back at long off, so it's just a single. Hardik was trying to get that straighter. 7 runs off the over. A boundary now keeps India ahead of the rate.
Roger Melly thinks that MS Dhoni's pads are a bit faded. Are they the same ones that he made his debut in?
Probably.
Like Jack Russell keeping that same hat throughout his career.
Oh.
Accidentally putting it in the microwave.
As did Steve Waugh with his baggy green.
Yeah, and that sort of rag thing he wore under his, which I think he ended up giving to Ramnaresh Sarwan. But yeah, the colour of the baggy green. Absolutely disgraced the baggy green.
Good for hiding sandpaper.
Hey. If only Cameron Bancroft had hit it there. Future generations of Bancrofts would have been safe.
Presumably, it wasn't quite as abrasive as it had been before he put it in his pants. But anyway.
Short fine leg, short third man, backward point and extra cover up, and this is a good slower ball from Chris Wokes, which Dhoni tries to cut and misses. There was a gap for him to find, but he didn't find it. 7 runs off the over, not enough for India. 255 for 4 with 7 overs left, 83 needed.
Jay says that he lives next door to the Crucible. Good theatre, but the coffee is rubbish, and they employ actors who've no idea how to clear beer lines.
Yeah.
Just Deeps 84 could be an innings of a lifetime for Dhoni. His body is fast, but mind isn't. Opposite of what usually happens.
I think he's played his innings of a lifetime. To be fair, I thought you were going to say for Hardik, which would have made more sense.
And Woy Pom says Min with Vin. I guess I'm Durban Oik. True.
Oak.
A Durban Oik.
Durban Oik. Evil Scooters. India do have a fairly lengthy tail today, don't they?
Yes, they do. It's Kedar Jadhav is in next, and then it's bowlers all the way down.
And no, Josh.
Sorry, carry on.
Josh Robinson, I did not miss your earlier attempt to get me to say something. I chose to ignore it.
Just the one over from Adil Rashid, and this man's back in.
Yeah, can't find him at the moment. He's in there somewhere.
Number 13. Number 13 on the
not only handsome, but also a secret agent. That's what I am.
Number 28 off his 7, Jofra Archer, has mixed up some seriously quick deliveries with some good slow balls. As a man who looks very much like Yuvraj Singh watches on from the crowd. 11.86 runs on over needed off the last 7 overs. Archer into Hardik, good slower ball. Archer slightly misfields off his own bowling, but they do not manage to take the single.
Manu Madhu on Cricket Tracker, I think, is asking me which team I'm supporting. Well, Black Caps till the death, which means India today, because that would make our chances to make the semi-finals a bit easier.
There's a lot of the enemy of my enemy is my friend going on at the moment.
Always anyone but Australia.
The latter stages of this World Cup. Archer in, slow ball outside off stump. Hardik runs this down fine, but it's straight to short third man. I think England might be behind the over rate because the throw didn't go into the keeper, it went back to mid-off.
They can't be thinking about that now. Just got to win the game, surely. That's the most important thing. And talking of enemies and all that sort of stuff, I haven't yet brought myself to be supporting teams I wouldn't normally support because of England's failings to this point. Basically, I just want us to do better in this game of cricket, and let's see what happens from there.
And I just want a good game.
But it is getting to the point where you're having to rely on other teams' results, isn't it?
New Zealand really shouldn't.
If England lose today, then it will be out of England's hands. But if win today.
Archer in, third man and fine leg up. This is outside off stump and driven nicely by MS Dhoni, but it should only be 1. It might be 2 actually, because he put it slightly wide of Joseph Edward Root, who comes round from long off to field. They come through for the second.
Des 103-25431. Love the Dhoni leave against Plunkett. Is he Nick Kyrgios? Wash your mouth out.
He got some issues, that boy, isn't he? And by the way, that tweet handle that you read out there, is that like his Borstal number or something?
24601. Archer in to Dhoni. Full outside off stump, and Dhoni tries to run this down fine again. Short third man called into play. They do come through for the single. That wasn't very far away at all from racing away for 4. 79 needed off 38. Over 2 runs a ball. India need a big over. India need an over like Pakistan got the other day, yesterday in fact, off Gulbadin.
Yes. I'm sure you discussed that at length yesterday, the bowling choices towards the end of the game for Afghanistan.
Gulbadin is a reluctant captain at best. Archer in the late evening Birmingham sun. That's a terrible delivery down the leg side. Hardik probably should have left it for a wide because he's only paddled it to Adil Rashid at short fine leg. There is no run.
Linux Lee, the tracer bullet Vittori was on that balcony in 83 without playing a game in the competition.
Don Ravi.
Shastri?
Don Ravi. With his sunglasses and his ever-present mug of whiskey. It's basically Ravi Shastri is the drunk uncle at an Indian wedding.
I think I'd like to see that in action.
Flashbacks. Yeah. Last ball of Archer's 8th over, the 44th of the innings, is a slower ball which Pandya puts back to ball, but to which Hardik Pandya puts bat and runs this up to Joe Root at mid-off. They come through for a single. Good over from Archer. Just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs off it. India now need 78 off the last 6 overs.
Is it similar to the uncle at the wedding that Peter Kay refers to as Uncle Knobhead?
Except he's not actually related to you.
Don't go
There's
near
that
your Uncle
uncle at
Knobhead.
every wedding, isn't there? Drunk uncle. It's a meme.
Yeah. One of the last Indian wedding I went to in India, we had to carry someone onto the minibus.
Of course, Muslim weddings, you don't get to see the drunk uncle if you're a woman. It's segregated.
Probably done in secret as well, that drinking. Anyway, let's move off that before I say something stupid.
13 runs and over needed off the last 6.
Yeah, 78 off 6 overs.
We do have a change
Very
of bowling.
tall order.
Wokes has only got 1 left, and I think he might be safe for the 49th. So the barrel-chested blacksmith is coming on to bowl.
Talking of tall orders.
Plinkett. Plunkett. Plunkett.
He's got 2 wickets with really quite bad deliveries. One wide of off stump that Kohli hit straight to backward point, and one down the leg side, to which Rishabh Pant holed out thanks to a wonderful catch by Chris Wokes.
Yeah,
but he's in bowling the 45th. Hardik has seen someone behind the bowler's arm.
I think I think you're probably right. The wicket-taking balls weren't the best, but I think he's earned those wickets by generally bowling some half-decent stuff. Those cross-seamers you were talking about previously.
Well, I think he pretty much, I don't know if he pioneered it, but he certainly seemed to popularise it, and now a lot of bowlers in the middle overs are doing that. Short third man, 2 short third men up, one quite fine, one a little bit wider. Extra cover and short fine leg up. There's a deep point, long off, long on, deep mid wicket and deep backward square in play. There's some fairly sizable gaps on the leg side. Hardik sets up in his trademark fashion with back foot outside leg stump, tries to smash this down the ground, hits only Plunkett, there is no run. Hardik's trying to swing the ball, swing a little bit too hard suddenly, as will tend to happen when you need over 12 and over.
Anna Forsyth brings the disturbing news that NHL player Sidney Crosby has played with the same jockstrap throughout his career in relation to the baggy
I hope
green.
it was washed.
Well,
my stomach is turning at that, and that's without eating the prawn sandwich in the fridge.
Hockey gear is not particularly pleasant at the best of times.
Vomiting noises off.
Plunked it in, going a little bit wider on the crease. Goes for the Yorker, doesn't quite time it. Hardik muscles this down the ground. A couple of bounces to Chris Wokes at long off rather. They come through for the single.
We have another South African fan, Yana, I think it is, Barclay, humbly appreciating good cricket.
How's it?
Despite our below performance power in this World Cup, still love the game and some red wine. Having fun with the jingles with some local commentators at Ozmaster from Gorilla SA. Shout out to those guys.
Welcome. Yeah, Gorilla SA have been doing a fine job in very trying circumstances.
If you were worried Hendo is still alive, he still fancied his pair to chase 20 off the last over.
They might need a lot more than that. No change to the field. Plunkett into MS Dhoni, who swings this hard into the leg side. He has found that gap in the leg side. Even Benjamin Andrew Stokes couldn't come across to field that. 4 runs. There's a couple of England players in this team whose middle names are very fun to say.
I was going to say, you determined to name everyone by their middle name.
Well, it's Christopher Roger Wokes, Joseph Edward Root and Benjamin Andrew Stokes, which are my favourite.
Yeah. My favourite still, though, is either Lutero Ross, Peter Taylor. That's how it goes.
Lutero Ross, Putora Lote
Taylor. And Stephen Peter Devereux Smith, of course.
Chris something Llewellyn Rogers. I can't remember what the other one was. Plunkett bowls it wide down the leg side. Butler tumbles to take, but Plunkett a little bit rattled now.
Why?
Probably shouldn't be. 6 runs off the first, effectively 3 balls of the over.
We're joined by Dr. Matt Burley. Doesn't everybody in the world support their own nation and anyone playing England? And he's with Hendo. I've been destroyed by the hope/pain too often. Welcome to the life of a Black Caps fan.
Oh, the generational trauma. Fandom skews your view of cricket, I think, and sport in general. Plunkett in. Short, slower ball, which takes an age to arrive at Dhoni, and he just pushes this to Owen Morgan on the edge of the ring cover, and they take a single.
The thing is, you have to take the lows to really celebrate the highs. Right, as a sports fan, how much fun can the Australians be having, winning all the time?
There's an element.
Really,
there's an element of earning the celebration, which is, I think, why New Zealand went so crazy during the 2015 World Cup.
Indeed, far beyond our expectations.
The man in the crowd there looked exactly like Pierre van Hooijdonk.
There was a guy that I thought looked like Narendra Modi.
There we are.
Might well
doppelgangers everywhere.
It could be a body double like Saddam Hussein had,
or Melania Trump.
Just leave that hanging there. Hardik's got under this. Has he got under it enough? I don't think he has. It's plugged. It's caught by James Vince. He's done another thing. Takes it at long on very comfortably, a couple of yards in off the rope. Hardik Pandya's valiant effort is over. He's gone for 45. England have their wicket they so desperately desired. India 267 for 5.
Go OUT the window. Go OUT the window. Go OUT the window. 'Cause OUT spells out.
The off cutter from Liam Plunkett. It dug in the wicket a little bit. Hardik got under it. Vince took it very comfortably down at long on. Allowed himself a little bit of a celebration, flinging the ball into the sky. And Hardik Pandya is gone for 45 off 33. 4 fours in that time. India really struggling now. Kedar Jadhav in the last recognised batsman.
Will it be court sub OBE?
I'll catch up on some tweets while we've got a minute. Pom has been to an Indian wedding in South Africa. There seem to be many drunk uncles, indeed. Linux Lear has some stories about Saudi royalty drinking themselves blind on airplanes because they weren't on Earth. Pom wants me to display my accent again and asking if there's any fish and chips in the kitchen.
It's fush and shops.
Well, he did say that, but I chose to adopt the Australian pronunciation.
Good for you.
Knowing hockey players and their superstition, says Linux Lee, I can assure you that the jockstrap has never seen a washing machine, not even from a distance. Oh. And Dave Emery's, Knuckle missed out on Philip Clive Roderick Tufnell.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been your Nirvana.
Well, the Sri Lankan ones are the best.
I was going to say, don't even get started on Chaminda Vas.
Chaminda Vas, yeah.
Hold up.
It is Kedar Jadhav to the middle. Surely they crossed while that ball was in the air.
Mustn't they? There he is.
Thank God his mom and dad, they made an all-rounder. Yeah, he can bowl and bat and he can hit some fours.
They did not cross while the ball was in the air. Interesting.
Must be one of those ones where he slumped on his bat, having seen it floating in the air. There we are.
Jadhav facing up to his first ball, the last over of Plunkett's spell, the 45th of the innings. A good slow ball outside off stump. Kedar Jadhav misses it. Good work from Liam Plunkett. Brought back in place of Moeen Ali. 3 for 55. Massive wickets. The wickets of Virat Kohli, the wicket of Rishabh Pant, and the wicket of Hardik Pandya. India 267 for 5, needs 71 off the last 5 overs.
Justified his selection there, hasn't he? Jay Grover, James Vince, he's done another thing poetry. Mayank with a 4-letter word rhyming with duck. And Roger Melly, I think most people have an anyone but New Zealand attitude for the Rugby World Cup. Yeah, that's fine. One thing's for sure, it won't be Australia. Also agree. It took me moving to Australia to realise that people actually thought that Richie McCaw was a cheat. I was unaware of this theory.
Anyone who watched the Lions tour in 2002, Richie McCaw and Tano Munga dropping Brian O'Driscoll on his head.
Was that Richie? I knew it was Tanu Munga.
No, I think it was too early for Richie, wasn't it? 2002.
Well, he did play for a long time. Was he?
Anyway,
it was definitely Umanga.
We do have a horse coming in to bowl the 46th over. He's in to MS Dhoni, quite wide on the crease. Short ball. Dhoni pulls this round the corner, doesn't really time it. They might get 2 out to deep square. No, just the 1, I think, as the man comes in off the long leg boundary to field.
And hello to Pranjal Kumar Sonawane on Tracker, who compliments us on our jingle for Kedar.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Kedar Jadhav, yeah, it's pretty good.
Outcast, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's nicely done.
Shall we get a jingle for the horse?
Yeah.
Do you know Mark Wood? Yes, he is an England bowler, quite good and pretty quick. So just a normal guy. Of course. Except for just one thing. What? He thinks that he's a horse. Right. What?
70 needed off 29. Kedar Jadhav has played some very good innings for India. This would be the best of them. He's facing up to Mark Wood. He nudges this off his hips down to long leg for a single.
Jay Grover, no one's mentioned Tainford Brent. Sweet story how she got all her names as well.
I mean Ebony Rainford Brent.
Indeed.
Ebony, many names, Brent. There's a Coralie in there somewhere in a jewel.
Jewel as in Jewel?
Yes.
Sweet. Like it. 69 off 28. It's looking tricky for India.
Even in the T20 at this stage, you're favouring the bowling team. 14.79 needed and over. 2 relatively new men to the crease, MS Dhoni and Kedar Jadhav. Mark Wood turns at the end of his lengthened run. He's in right arm over the wicket, up to the crease and bowls to MS Dhoni. A short ball down the leg side. Dhoni's muscled this past short fine leg. He's got 4. There's been a few short down leg that India have missed out on, but Dhoni didn't that time. And the Narendra Modi alike waves his arms in nationalistic style along the ground.
Dave Emery's clarifies it was the 2005 Lions Taunakul, and that's true. I do remember
Is
that.
it 05?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Well, it was earlier.
terrible tour for the Lions, that was.
Yeah, well, given all the hype, that was Clive Woodward's team, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
01 was Australia, by the way.
Ah, okay.
Yes, there you go.
I thought when they won, Jason Robinson scored a...
Well, no, 01, the Lions won the first match and then proceeded to lose the series 2-1. When Johnny Wilkinson threw an
2005
intercept
was the
pass.
tour of Dan
Joe
Carter.
Roff scored an intercept try.
The offside field is up, the leg side field is back. Chris Wokes bowls down leg, and he's got a little bit lucky to get away with that, as Dhoni sort of gloves it down the leg side. Might have been better off leaving that for a while, because I'm not sure Butler would have caught up with that. But they come through for a single. 7 runs off the first 4 balls of the over. A boundary now makes this very interesting, at least for this over.
Evil Scourges has a theory on Australian cricket. To be fair, it's not the winning that makes the Aussie cricket fans insufferable. It's the insufferability of the players and fans that makes their winning unbearable. And me, a Black Caps fan.
Gideon Haigh has a good line. The Australians used to think they won because they sledged. No, but they sledged because they won.
Gideon Haigh has many, many good lines. The man doesn't have any bad
My
lines.
favourite one was in Death of a Gentleman. Cricket T20 needs something to be shorter than. The lugubrious cricketing prophet of doom. 64 needed off 26. Kedar Jadhav on strike. Nudges this into the leg side. They might get 2. Jadhav wants 2, but Dhoni just walks the single, and the man comes around from mid on to field. Just the one taken. 63 needed off 25.
Roger Melly's trying to engage me in a conversation about Richie McCaw and the legalities of his rugby playing. Yeah, not going there.
There is no forward in the history of professional rugby who hasn't cheated.
This is true.
We were told how to do it at school.
You were a forward?
Yeah, I've been this height since I was 15.
Okay.
So
have you also been this weight since you were 15 though?
No.
Right.
As Mark Wood goes wider on the crease, a short ball into the hip region of MS Dhoni, who nudges this round the corner, trying to pull. Just a single taken. 62 needed off 24. Yeah, so we didn't have line-out lifting until we were sort of 15 or 16.
Oh.
So I could catch, and then sort of as time when I moved to blindside flanker, where my job was very simple.
Yeah, true. Okay.
And then stopped playing rugby when I went to university.
Arthur Shah, also known as Tilakaratni Dilettanti, joining us for the tense finish. Where there's Dhoni, there's Hopeney. And Jay Grover clarifies Ebony Rainford Brent's names. Apparently all her brothers were so excited they were getting a baby sister they all wanted to name her. Hence the 6 odd middle names.
That is very nice. There's a footballer who played for who was named after the QPR team of the year that he was born in. Had 11 different names. None of which were Charlie, but he was always known as Charlie. Because his grandmother, I think, or his aunt said, he's going to look a proper Charlie with those many names. Jofra Archer is going to continue bowling his 9th, the 47th of the innings. I think he's continuing his spell.
Yeah.
276 for 5.
Wow. So, is it going to be a grandstand finish, or is it going to fizzle, rather? I rather hope it fizzles.
Archer in with his languid run-up is just nudged into the offside by MS Dhoni. They take the single.
It's a hell of a lot more exciting than yesterday's fizzle.
Despite the fact, actually, the run rate is not that dissimilar.
No.
In fact, I think the required run rate for India is now higher than New Zealand's ever was.
True, there's one thing you don't have, that is Mitchell Starc.
Yeah, his qualities, and he's now way out on his own, top wicket taker in the tournament, as he was in the previous tournament.
Yeah, very likely to beat Glenn McGrath's record
Yes.
for most wickets in one World Cup, although, of course, there are many more games in this World Cup.
He does come alive at World Cup time. He's an absolute stellar performer.
Yeah, be interesting to see how him, Cummins, probably James Pattinson go for Australia in the Ashes. Short ball into the pads of Kedar Jadhav, who works this round the corner. Just a single. Jadhav hasn't played an attacking stroke at any point in the innings yet. Single taken, 60 needed off 22.
Josh Robinson tells you it was Kevin Mialamu, the then hooker in
Kevin
2005.
Mialamu,
Yeah, that's right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Josh. Yeah, that was a despicable act.
It was.
but,
It was. I will concede that.
You kind of go, look, guys, you're going to beat us anyway. We were.
Well, they weren't sure about that, I suppose. It was the first game, but still, it wasn't good.
As a pigeon flies from right to left across screen. Ludicrous LBW field from Jofra Archer as Dhoni middles one out to mid-wicket. They come through for a single.
Hope springs eternal. Jeff Perkins, Dhoni and dusted.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, England at the moment will be relatively satisfied with the way that they're managing these, what could have been tricky last few overs.
As we see, Johnny Bairstow has covered a quite frankly astonishing 17.8 kilometres today. That's more than that's sort of twice what a footballer runs in a game. Slow ball down the leg side. Kedar Jadhav doesn't time this at all. It may have looped off the pad, in fact, to Adil Rashid on the 45.
Somewhat makes a
and there is no
mockery
run.
of an Irish colleague that I took to a T20 game in Melbourne who said, do you know what, I could play cricket. They just seem to stand around a lot.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
look
you
at
can
those stats.
I mean, you can play village cricket. Where
Stand at cow corner all day, couldn't you?
Stand at third man, stand at slip, actually, if you want to not do any running.
Johnny engaging with the crowd again.
Yeah, he
as
always
does throughout.
You,
Yeah,
he
there's-
says. 59 needed off 20. Jathav's got to do something here. He walks across outside off stump. Archer follows him. He runs this down to third man for a single.
Jay Grover says that Gideon Haigh has the cynicism of the financial journalist and the soul of a poet. Seems like a nice chap as well. He is. I've met him and he's utterly delightful.
Is he as sort of lugubrious and drawling in real
Well, I
life?
accosted him on the tube one day and said,
Did you?
aren't you Gideon Haigh? And he looked somewhat discombobulated but recovered very nicely. And then as soon as I mentioned the precursor of guerrilla cricket,
Full delivery ends up as a full toss. Dhoni drives, doesn't really time it. Thick outside edge down to the man on the deep point boundary. Just a single taken. 5 runs off Jofra Archer's 9th over, the 47th of the innings. India now need a frankly ridiculous 57 off the last 3 overs.
Guerrilla cricket gateway, key to the gateway to dubious conversations with media.
oh no, he was lovely. His face lit up when I mentioned how I knew of him. Michael Jones managed to be the best in the world without cheating, said Roger Malley. He also never played on a Sunday. Difference was that he often got penalised when he shouldn't have, but McCord didn't get penalised when he should have. Let's focus on the game, people.
I never thought we'd get Australian Rugby Union from the 90s.
True. And Jeff Perkins says, if I'm not going to use my accent in a manner that's generally reserved for pay by the minute phone lines, how about a rant about yesterday's match? No, I'm too depressed about yesterday's match. I mean, it was entirely predictable, and
There's nothing to rant about.
no, I just wish they'd put up more of a fight.
Got to move on.
Exactly.
They stopped batting half of the innings. India haven't done that, but they're needing a minor miracle to pull this off now. 57 needed off the last 3 overs. Wood goes wide in the crease. Short ball. Dhoni tries to pull. Top edges. Takes one hand off the bat. It dribbles down to Liam Plunkett at long leg. They come through for a single.
This has definitely been a plan from England the last few overs, which is to dig it in a little bit short on the angle in towards the body of the batsman and station a man on the boundary at long leg
and deep square.
So I think
the
it's
ball
worked, hasn't it? Thus
that
far.
was another slower ball bouncer. The ball is slightly digging into the pitch.
Ian Walker has an interesting theory. Does the single farming indicate that India have given up on the win and are trying to limit the net run rate damage?
I wonder.
It had occurred to me.
Yeah, I wondered.
It had occurred.
Well, also this will certainly help England's net run rate, which might come into question. I think they're a long way ahead of Pakistan in terms of net run rate, but
looking at that latest blow that Dhoni took,
yeah,
Rishabh might be keeping the next game,
which I don't think will be particularly good news for any India fans. But he's putting his helmet back on. Patrick Farhat, rather, the large Indian physio, is watching on from the boundary. Dhoni took the blow on his right thumb. That was even a slower ball from Mark Wood is quite quick.
Dave Emery's, there's a lot to be said. Sorry.
No worries. There's in gallops Mark Wood very wide on the crease. Short ball. Jadhav sets himself with a pull. Doesn't quite time this, and it goes out to the man on the deep backward square boundary. I think that's James Vince. Flings the ball back in. Single taken.
There's a lot to be said for the Sehwag/Gale style of fielding. Room for everyone in the field.
So both of them very good slip fielders in their day.
A lot of room for Chris Gale these days.
Yeah. Did you see him pull his shoulder when he took?
When he celebrated.
Yes. That was very funny.
Hassan Ali's done that. You know, Hassan Ali does this sort of crouch and then big out celebration. There's a shot of him against Zimbabwe sort of holding his shoulder afterwards. As Wood is in. We can see Jofra Archer lurking there at short third man. Into the body of MS Dhoni, who pulls this hard, but straight out to Vince on the deep square leg boundary. Just a single taken. Kedar Jadhav basically laps MS Dhoni.
Woy Pom thinks that Yuvraj never covered 17 kilometres in a one day or even in a whole tour, whereas on Crick Tracker, Pranjal Kumar Sonawane says he misses Yuvraj Singh for chasing the scores today. Two differing opinions.
This might have been slightly beyond the great Yuvi, who's now retired from all Indian cricket. A fine one-day international player for India, a cornerstone of the 2007 World T20 and 2011 50-over World Cup wins.
Man of the tournament in 2011, wasn't
he? Was. Short ball in the body. Kedar Jadhav backs away and cuts this, but down to third man, who's back on the boundary now as deep point comes up. Good plans from Mark Wood, well executed. Come through for the single. 53 needed off 14, and this game is starting to peter out a little bit.
Matt Burley has more about the O'Driscoll spear tackle, criticising the referees. Evil Scootus is off to bed. Cheers, mate.
Nice, Scott.
And tomorrow's match here or down south? Not sure what he means by that. I'm off to Durham on Wednesday.
Tomorrow's game is Sri Lanka versus the West Indies, so it'll be, I I'm not actually sure who's covering that game, but we'll tweet that out when I have a chance to check the schedule. 285.5. India's still a very long way behind. Short ball down the leg side, left by MS Dhoni, for a wide through to Joss Butler.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
52 needed off 14 at just over 22 runs and over.
Roger Malley brings up the underarm incident. We are not going to open that can of worms.
Brian McKechnie.
It's the most disgraceful thing I've seen on the cricket field.
It doesn't wash with me. Not with me, it doesn't.
Mark Wood in back of a length. Dhoni comes down the track, tries to swing this hard into the leg side, is beaten by it. Passes between bat and pad. Good tumbling take by Joss Butler. There is no run.
Josh Robinson, we might back Dhoni to get 20 off the last over. Will we back him to get a 19 and over off the last 3? Yeah.
3 times the Brathwaite. No.
Dhoni, remember the name.
Short third man, which is Jofra Archer. Sort of deep gully, which is Adil Rashid. Chris Wokes on the deep point boundary. Morgan on the circle at extra cover. Root on the circle at mid-off. That's the offside field. I think everyone's back on the leg side except Short to find leg. Wood is in. Last ball of his spell is a short ball, which is pulled hard by MS Dhoni. Yes, deep backward square is in position, which is James Vince. He comes round, just the single taken. None for 73 off his 10 overs from Mark Wood, but I think that tells the full story. He bowled pretty well in the last few overs, only going for singles really, and India now need 51 off the last 2 overs to pull off what would be the most ridiculous chase of this World Cup.
Where am I up to? Lost myself. Cricket Memro thought Vince would be caught at slip as a sub-fielder. Ha! And Ralph the Wonder Llama, any medical update on Paul Roy's near fatally bruised arm?
He did have a visual. I heard an interview with him earlier on where he said he wore one from Jasprit basically. So yeah, a legitimate reason not to be on the field.
Arthurshire puts on tinfoil hat if India.
As Archer comes in as the conspiracy theorists abound. Off cutter from Jofra Archer. Dhoni swings over the top of it. Through to the keeper it goes. There is no run.
This has been mentioned in the green room also. If India fail to win, it hinders Pakistan's chances of making the semis.
Yeah, none of that.
There'll be a few Pakistan fans on the various cesspools of the internet going absolutely batshit crazy, I'm sure. But hey, it's sport and one team has to win.
Unless there's a tie.
How true those words are, spoken even today.
In the slot, that's pretty much the ball that Dhoni hit for 6 to win the 2011 World Cup. Stop the press! Ben Stokes has misfielded. He comes around from mid-wicket, he slides over the top of the ball, he's absolutely livid with himself because he forgot to close his legs, and the 4 runs are taken.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Oh dear, oh dear. Probably won't matter in the context of the game, but that is 4 runs given away, or certainly 3 runs given away by Ben Stokes.
And no one is more cross about that than Ben Stokes.
Dhoni 33 off 26. Short outside off stump. Dhoni puts back to ball and guides it out to deep point, just the single taken. I'm not sure India are trying to chase this down in all honesty. I'm not sure they have been for a few overs.
Jeff Perkins asking if India are chasing the English total or the New Zealand score against the West Indies at Old Trafford. Nice point. Razzie Mack, to be fair, winning this match actually follows the fine English tradition of keeping the hope alive as long as possible to allow for maximum disappointment.
You do-mongers.
I know, man. Still, whatever makes you happy.
46 needed off 9. Archer goes very full, a slower ball. Jadhav digs this out into the leg side, a single walked.
Josh Robinson has a request for Grubby. If we're doing Richie, can we ask him whether it'll be the white, the off-white, the cream, the beige, the ivory, or the bone?
Well, my assistant, Miss Faye Dingaway, did say that she thought it might look good with a bone on.
And but, what did Daphne say?
Daphne, frankly, was quite shocked.
Daphne? I'm very scared, Daphne.
I
very
missed
much.
that.
2 balls left of Jofra Archer's spell. He's in close to the wicket. Slower ball on a length. Dhoni might have thought about smashing that over the leg side, but just nudges it down to Joe Root at short third man. Single taken.
Crick Tracker is a scene of doom. Basharat Samo saying that they're going to lose, as does Ashkan.
Yeah, and with 44 needed off 7, which is actually more than 6 runs a ball, I think you're right.
Shout out to Alan Hotchkiss. Good win in difficult circumstances for England, although still all to do. Good to hear Kiwi with the rest of the team.
Last ball of Archer's spell is a short ball outside of stump, which Kedar Jadhav swings wildly at, misses through to Josh Butler. It goes, there is no run. None for 45 off his 10 for Jofra Archer. Another very good spell, even though he's not fully fit. Good change of pace, good lengths, good adhering to the England plan. He gets a back slap from Liam Plunkett. He gets a butt slap from Josh Butler, and he's bowled very, very well. And he gets a high five that nearly breaks his hand from Ben Stokes. A notional 45 needed off the last over.
Now,
is that technically doable?
I mean, technically
with no balls and wides, yeah.
Did you say you'd missed a certain jingle there, Kiwi Callie? Because you're our guest today, and I'm going to try something here. I think I might have found it, but it's one of two.
It really is very, very dark out there. You can't necessarily see it at home on your TV screens, but it is very dark.
Oh.
Very dark indeed.
That's lovely, thank you.
Bill? Tiny? Tiny? Bill? Tiny? Oh, well, it's just me then.
And it is fitting that the last over of the day goes to the hometown boy, Christopher Roger Wokes, who's taken 2 wickets, bowled brilliantly at the start of the innings. Went for only 7 off his first 4 overs, bowled 3 maidens in a row, took the brilliant catch to dismiss Rishabh Pant. He'll be bowling to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who's playing a good but completely out of context innings.
He's on Instagram.
Length. Dhoni slugs this over the leg side, and oh! James Vince has done brilliantly there to save 6. What a oh no, it hasn't quite. I think he's. I thought he'd patted it down back into the boundary, back into the field of play.
I thought he'd caught it and then dropped it.
But it looks as though it sailed over him and bounced off the boundary board. Let's just see this again. Yes, it did. It just looped over his head. A hell of an effort from Vince going round to his left, but Dhoni picks up 6. A strange way to minimise net run rate damage. India 300 to 5. Dhoni 41 off 29. That's length. Dhoni tries to slog into the leg side. It dribbles out into the mid-wicket region. Ben Stokes picks up and for once it doesn't hurl the ball back in at a bajillion miles an hour.
Hi to Alec Patton, finally able
and
to
Dhoni
tune
doesn't
in.
take the single.
Yeah, weird.
What? Oh yeah. Alec Patton, missed you greatly today. Well, we missed you too.
Are you there now for the final knockings?
And what was a really good game is sort of petering out into a bit of a farce. Not a farce, but
it's just the game's done. But it's 98% of the game's been
games within games have been playing. Wokes in short ball. Dhoni muscles this into the leg side, and he's almost holed out. Bounces just short of Ben Stokes, who's not going to dive and injure himself at this stage. They do come through for the single this time. Good slower ball bouncer from Wokes. Dhoni moves to 42 off 31.
Jeff Perkins has a little song or jingle to the tune of ABBA. I am completely tone deaf, so I'm going to leave that one well alone. Spangley Sai, we are not doomed. And Sushant thinks that it can still happen because Dhoni is still there. Good on you, mate.
Hendo. Can you hear me, Hendo?
They need 37 off 3 balls. Why, Pum, your boys took a hell of a beating.
Doing that with the England women having beaten Norway the other day, and then of course realised that the initial author of that was a Norwegian fella.
Yes.
Called Bilge or something.
Jadhav backs away outside off leg stump and slaps this away hard over backward point for 4.
I'm looking over a 4.
It's slightly strange that India pulled out of the chase when it was still theoretically doable, but some slappage now. 11 off the first 3 balls of this over. The required run rate is now 99 and over.
Roger Malley says, good evening, folks. Thanks for the entertainment, and that includes Richard. You're very welcome.
You're welcome, Rog.
And bollocks.
In comes Wokes, penultimate ball of the match. Short ball, which Jadhav tries to pull and smashes back on the bounce to Chris Wokes, who fields. There is no run.
And a few more people on Crick Tracker. Akash Tiwari, Maqsood Ahmed and Hora Ali. Hello.
Hello to all of you on Crick Tracker and Facebook Live and all that stuff. It's tremendous to have you there.
Last ball of a match which has been thrilling until the last few overs. Utterly gripping cricket, but India really were never truly in the chase once Virat Kohli got out. It's a full ball into the leg side. Jadhav works it to mid-wicket. They take the single, and England have won. They have kept their World Cup chances in their own hands, and England have won by 31 runs. They have beaten the newly crowned world number one, and they go back into the semi-final places.
Yeah, no, I think you called it right there, Knuckle. It was a really gripping game, apart from kind of the last 5 overs when India just decided not really to go for it, which seems odd to me, because really had the chance to, put the knife into one of the big rivals for the tournament. But there we are. Credit to England for managing that bowling effort as well as they did.
Is that the highest scoring game of the tournament? Or we had
might be the first time.
England-Bangladesh was quite high scoring.
Yeah, right.
India-Australia was fairly high scoring, but yes, 337 plays, 306. Another good display by the Indian top order, but I think Jadhav and Dhoni, aware of the lack of depth of the Indian batting order, really rather pulled out of the chase once Hardik Pandya got out. He and Rishabh Pant gave it a go. Pant was trying to swing himself off his feet every ball, still scored over a run a ball, but
was that nice pack on?
Yeah, looks like Roy's arm.
But yeah, England were fairly comfortable in the end. Yes, Roy's got a fairly sizable ice pack wrapped in cling film around that right arm where he was hit by Jasprit Bumrah.
It's like a giant blister.
Yeah, a little bit. Either that or there's a hell of a lot of blood. But Jason Roy, we imagine will we find for England's last game against New Zealand. India still in a very good position on 11 points with 2 games to play. Just one win from those games against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will see them through to the semi-finals. But England are very much still alive.
Shall I give you a précis of the scorecard?
Please do.
So England earlier on today scored 337 for 7 in their 50 overs. Roy coming back to the team scored 66. Bairstow answering his critics and the world who are all against him, as we know, a century, 111 he got. Root got 44. Stokes with some brilliance in the back half of the innings, got 79. Butler a breezy 20 from 8 deliveries, and that took England up to that 337, which they would have felt confident of defending. But for times early in the Indian innings, particularly when Rohit and Kohli were together, it was by no means a given. Rahul was out early for a 9-ball duck, caught and bowled by Wokes, who was in the middle of bowling his first 3 overs as maidens. Rohit got the 3rd century that he scored in this World Cup, 102 today for him. Kohli a majestic 66. Pant looked pretty good for his 32 before he holed out in the deep to Wokes with a flying leap of a catch off Plunkett. Pandya similarly muscular and powerful, got 45 before he was caught by one of 2 catches that James Vince, the subfielder, pulled off for 45. Dhoni remained unbeaten on 42, and Jadhav was not out on 12. And India fell 31 runs short, 306 for 5 in the 50 overs. So definitely puts England back in the shake-up, leaves their destiny in their own hands. India will be just fine getting through to the semis.
The top 4 now looks like Australia already qualified on 14 points. India and New Zealand on 11 points. India ahead on net run rate. England on 10 points. India have played 7 games. The other 3 have all played 8, as have Pakistan, who are on 9 points. Bangladesh are on 7 points, having played 1 game fewer than either England, Pakistan or New Zealand. They can go to 9 points with a win against India. If they win that, then if they win that, England have to beat New Zealand to make sure of the semi-finals.
That game in Durham is going to be an interesting one.
And then it will come down to if it could end up in a situation where New Zealand. So let's say England do win that game.
Yes.
Then England will be on 12 points. New Zealand will be on 11. Pakistan and Bangladesh, let's say that Bangladesh beat India, they'll both be on 9 points, and then it's a 3-way shootout between Pakistan, Bangladesh and New Zealand, coming down to net run rate. New Zealand's net run rate is a lot better than either Pakistan's or Bangladesh, and Bangladesh's is by far the worst of any of them. So permutations, apart from the top position, and you imagine India with 2 games to go, one of them against Sri Lanka, who have fallen away rather, they will be through. But this World Cup group stage, despite the absurd format, is still very much alive.
Oh, the ICC be rubbing their hands. And going,
Johnny
"See?"
Bairstow, player of the match, being interviewed. And I've just got a few tweets to end
Yes,
with,
go
if
for
I
it.
may. So Jeff Perkins, India successfully bats out the day to deny themselves. Dave Emery's, thank you for the entertainment. As ever, now everyone donates some money. Very good point.
Good idea.
And if you are in the area, may I strongly recommend coming and being a guest for the day. It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kiwi Callie. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
N Swan, Andrew Veer, thanks for the coverage, everyone. I'll catch you or South Africa tomorrow. Ralph the Wonder Llama, thanks again, Gorillas. Top flight entertainment as always. England still not entirely hashtag doomed, not by a long chalk.
No.
Gorilla Hendo, as I said, never in doubt. Let's go through it all again on Wednesday. Oh, I love you, Hendo. Pirate Badshaw, well, that was dull in the end anyway. Thanks and good night. Dr. Leonie Hicks, great commentary today. I do enjoy Hendo's pessimism, as do we all, as much as Hendo enjoys his pastries.
We have one little thing. We have the Messages ticket giveaway.
Yes, let's do it.
We have a few people in the running. I have set up the random number generator. The intern is spinning the wheel. And it is James Moosh.
Woohoo!
James Moosh, you have won the ticket to Australia versus South Africa. We will be in touch and to give your so you can give us your postal details and get the ticket. But congratulations to James Moosh.
Well
Brilliant.
done.
Fantastic.
And thank you to everyone who's joined us today here. Thank you to the St Mary's Massive, Rob Sutton, Jack Cunningham and Tim Hammersley. Thank you to Nestle Boy. Thank you to the Bear. Thank you to Hendo, who was in earlier. Thank you to Ralph Thomas. Thank you to Kiwi Callie.
Thank you, Knuckle.
Thank you to Paul Grubby Howarth.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
And goodbye from me, goodbye. Be thoroughly lovely to yourselves and everyone except fascists.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is